Hello, everyone. Welcome to Startup Weekend Global. Thank you for joining us, whether you're tuning in from Facebook or Gather or YouTube. We are so excited to have you guys join us tonight for the final pitches. I am Joyce, and I have here with me Linka, all the way from
Bangkok. Good evening, everyone. I'm joining from Bangkok, and I'm also one of the facilitators in Startup Weekend Network. So very, very excited to come back, to this community and to celebrate all this startup spirit with all of you today.
That's right. So excited to have you here with me, Linka, because you just joined us last Saturday, right? And time flies so quickly because today we are at our final pitches, a little bit later than usual, but it also means that the teams had a lot more time to prepare. So for those of you who are joining us fresh for the first time, you don't know what Startup Weekend is about, and you don't even know what Startup Weekend Global is about, I'm here to share with you. So Startup Weekend Global is a 9-day affair. For those of you that have been a part of Startup Weekend before, you know that it usually happens only over 54 hours. This time around, because it's global edition, we are running it over 9 days. It's really long, but really what we wanted to do was to bring together the entire global community and foster more connections and to build an entire experience where people can come together in our metaverse and really hack amazing ideas that can possibly change the world. So we had over 1,000 participants, over 1,600 attendees. It's amazing. It's crazy, you guys. We had so much fun over the past couple of days. I'm pretty sure, Linka, you met quite a lot of the participants too, right? And it's just been crazy amazing. But really at the heart of it all, what we want to do is to provide an experiential learning for all of our participants to really try and build a startup in a fail-safe environment. And we hope we've provided that platform for you to do so over the last 9 days. And so, what has gone on over the last 9 days is that we had over 30 plus judges, mentors, and speakers that have joined us. You guys have met Linka at one of her workshops. You guys have seen me a lot over the last couple of days. We also have 1,600 plus attendees that have actually registered to be a part of this entire event. And they come from over 80 plus countries. It's amazing. It's crazy. Our team counted earlier. We have people attending from over 82 countries. So you guys, I don't know how we got the message to you guys, but you guys are really amazing. We are so excited to host all of you here tonight. We have over 70 plus community leaders that is also supporting us on this event. And many of you would have met them over the last 9 days. They were there to help you with your team formation. They were there to help you with your mock pitches. They were there to help you refine your ideas and give you feedback. And they come from Africa, from Russia, from Philippines, from Singapore, from Hong Kong, and so on and so forth. You guys have probably met most of our community leaders by now. And really, at the end of the day, we want to be able to create that global impact. And I hope we are able to achieve it by the end of today. Before we get to the exciting part, though, I'm going to invite up Derwin, who is the director for Startup Weekend Global. He's been leading our entire team to run this amazing event. Derwin, thank you so much. So I'm going to pass the stage over to you. Say hi to our audience, and the time is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Joyce and Linka. It's been really fun to see all the excitement and people unfolding all their excitement over the metaverse. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the facilitators, right? Joyce, Linka, Lalita, who have spent so much effort taking us through the entire hackathon. Like what they mentioned, it's not just 54 hours, it's 9 days. And at a global scale, it's really taxing. So really appreciate all that. The enthusiasm has to be continuously fanned. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the finale of Startup Weekend Global, where we will go on to hear the top 12 pitches. They will be pitching to a panel of esteemed judges from a diverse background, so I'm pretty certain that it will be extra special. I'll let Joyce and Linka share more about the judges later. To be honest, it is really not easy to get to the finals. The teams had to validate their ideas, recruit team members, build their MVP, design their decks, and rehearse their pitches. So much to overcome and so many obstacles, but I'm glad that most of you made it. I want to remind everyone what is at stake here, okay? And I'm not talking about the prizes. Yes, of course, we have limited edition NFTs and awesome swag for the winners, but what is really at stake is the chance to build your dream startup, embark on an entrepreneurship journey, and put your city on a map. We're all making history here. This will be the start of an amazing adventure for many, and I'm certain the possibilities can only exponentiate from here on. So many of you have beautiful ideas that will grow, germinate, shine in due time, but don't forget, we got to keep working hard and don't give up on them. The last 9 days have been really fulfilling. The metaverse has really afforded us a great opportunity to explore and do more than we ever could. We had treasure hunts where so many of you were scuttling around trying to find a hidden stash. I saw a lot of you at midnight, early morning trying to hunt it. Some of you are from hunting parties. On the very first night, we saw people acting as tour guides, exploring the entire map in different groups, different cultures coming together. It was beautiful, right? People were playing poker and having good discussions over startup, food, different languages, cultures, and ideas. That's what we want, right? So I want to talk about the power of building on a global scale, different communities. Community leaders from all around the world uniting to make this a success. We have Ayami from Sri Lanka, Roger from the US, Jesse from Nairobi, all these CLs coming together to help each other in so many ways, with translation between the different languages, navigating the metaverse, going around the maps, trying to explore and make sure that people know where to work and where to do and where to go for the mentor pitching, different schedules, and also with various pitches, right? Helping them, rehearse their pitch and so on. I would like to thank all the sponsors, judges, mentors, speakers, community leaders, and participants. Startup Weekend has always been about the community, by the community, and for the community. And I hope it will be this way forever. So thank you all once again for making Startup Weekend Global a tremendous success. Go forth and break some eggs, okay? Like what Iron Man said in the movie. I'd like to pass the stage back to Joyce and Linka. Everyone have fun.
Thank you so much, Derwin.
Yep.
Thank you so much. And I know you guys are super excited about final presentations. We had over 70 plus ideas that were submitted, and it's whittled down to the top 12 teams. But before we go straight into that, this entire event is brought to you by the team at Techstars, the team at Startup Weekend Singapore, and all our community leaders, as well as by Startup X, and not forgetting our presenting sponsors, National Youth Council, OLAM, Singapore International Foundation, Aspire, Wework, and Gather. So we talk a lot about our metaverse, right, Linka? Because you've been to the metaverse, but the audience probably doesn't know what our metaverse looks like. So we had this amazing team that we worked with at Gather, and we were really trying to build this entire thing. So I wanted to bring you guys through what actually the last 9 days looked like for the participants. So what have we been up to, right? And it's crazily packed over the last 9 days. I don't know how the participants do it, because a lot of them were staying up late at night, and you must imagine that a lot of them, they are based in different parts of the world. They are working on different time zones. I heard there's teams that have like 5 members and all 5 come from different countries. I don't know how they sort out their calendars, but it must be crazy. But throwback to last Friday, we did a kickoff and a launch with Renaud, who was the former CTO of Eventbrite. He's powering our entire ticketing platform for Startup Weekend as well. And we also had Mayal, who is the CEO of Techstars, and they shared some really encouraging words and stories for our participants as they started the entire journey. Right, Linka, do you remember what your first Startup Weekend experience was?
My God, yes, I remember that. It was in 2016 in Hong Kong, and it was also, I guess to some extent, it was also a mega edition. We have over 150 participants. It was a physical event, but I think what is truly, truly amazing were people that I met, I stayed connected with, the community I'm still part of, and always have this sense of belongings. And this time, you know, with this global scale, with across different time zones, with more than thousands of participants, and I think this is where scaling this community to this global scale is really, really amazing. And I think that's, you know, this kind of community vibe, this kind of sense of belonging is what keeps all of us still stay in here after, you know, 4 or 5 years, even sometimes, you know, 10, 20 years.
It's true. And it's a pity that we didn't manage to run like a physical event where all the participants could, you know, really talk to one another. But we tried to replicate the entire experience through GetAtown. And really, it was so exciting on the first day to see all of you guys gathering and, you know, really connecting with one another, you know, having fun and all that. Over the last couple of days, we've run almost everything on GetAtown. We had our team formation sessions that was run by Jessie and Ayami, our community leaders, and Iwei. And you guys came up to pitch on our little stage, and we could see all the little avatars moving around. It was so cute. We had our workshops as well. You guys met Linka, you guys met Farah, and you guys met Jordan. And you learn about your your lean canvas, your customer validation, and your pitching workshops. And I hope you guys took a lot of the tips that Linka and the rest have shared with you and put it all into your decks and your pitches today, because we are really excited to see what you guys are going to bring to the table. And then we also had your mentor sessions. And I remember mentor sessions ran all the way to 1 a.m. Singapore time. So a lot of you actually stayed up to meet our last mentor. And that was crazy, Linka. Linka, you've probably caught a couple of mentors that year, right? When you did your first startup weekend. And what do mentors actually bring to the table for these participants?
Oh my God, yes, I guess we had a lot of laugh and hate dialogues with our mentors. Some of the mentors, they are in a way that they love us, in a way that really want to grind us to the extent that we feel like, oh, really, this is how it feels like to run a startup. Okay, I get it.
Some of them ask such tough questions to the participants, right? And I understand that it must have been like, you know, really a struggle for so many of these guys who were so passionate about building ideas that could change the world. But then, you know, the mentors had to pull them and bring them down to reality and think like, okay, is there really a proper business model? Is this really going to be sustainable? Like, what sort of impact are you really creating? And I think many of you experienced that. And then we also had our mock pitches, and this was really that opportunity for you guys to sort of bring your, I guess, half-baked ideas to come in, because you guys were only halfway through the entire experience and you guys were barely, you know, done with your decks and your pitch, and you had to go up on stage and pitch all of that, really just put away all that embarrassment and okay, this is it. This is what we're trying to do. But boy, I think, you know, over that last couple of days from mock pitches all the way to when you guys did your submissions, it's been like 180 degrees change in the quality. And then the refinement of all your ideas is just crazy to watch. So I think not to give you guys anxiety, especially the teams that are pitching tonight, but really, really are looking forward to what you guys are going to pitch. So and then you guys were just working around the whole time. A lot of you came up to me, even had people come up to me at 2 a.m. in the morning just to ask me, hey, Joyce, I have a question. I want to do this. How can I help? How can I continue to build my pitches and all that? So you guys were really amazing. This is a little something that we wanted to end off with. This is all, we gathered all the organizers to come together and did a little dance together for you. Little gift for everybody. But yes, so going to final pitches, I know we shared a lot, we talk a lot, we just wanted to take you through a little bit of, down the memory lane. But what you guys are really here for is to hear the top 12 themes. So Linka, why don't you take them through the themes that the participants have been working on?
Right. So, so all the teams this time during the Global Startup Weekend, they are going to focus on this particular 4 themes, and all of these 4 themes are very important when it comes to our development of our world, especially. Some of the topics are really, hot and trendy these days. While we are looking at the climate issues at the COP26, we're looking at some of our sustainability issues in cities, in waste management, things that we can do to improve the green in our environment, and also how do we remove the stereotype of when it comes to women, when it comes to gender equality, and really create more opportunities for female group. And that's when it comes to the work, the current of work and the future work of work, we might talking about different things, because the speed of global development is just it's really, really hard for us to really predict what is going to happen in the next year, next decades. And also at the same time, while the world is developing, it's very important not to forget the underserved community. So those tonight, all things that they're going to share with us their solutions are really focusing on these 4 particular themes. Really, really, really excited for that. Right. So to really see, look at what are some of the outstanding ideas and solutions that we're developing for the next 9 days. We have these 4 judging criteria: their validation, execution and design, business model, and impact. So we're going to take a quick look at each one of these judging criteria. So starting from validation. So in more specific, it's really about, did your team really get out and talk to customers? Are you really solving the problems that that really people are living in it? And are you identify a specific target market? In a way, are you really build your solutions from a real problems, not just something that you assume, right? And then the second point is your execution and design. Do you have an MVP or prototype already? And have you tested with your potential target groups? And is it easy to use? Do you put yourself into the shoes of the person that you are trying to serve, right? And the next part, the other points that we're going to have a closer look at is really the business model. So how do you plan on making it a successful business? How can you make it financially sustainable? And what makes your idea unique? How can you make your potential customers pay for it, right? So what are some of your business models? And the last point is really looking at the impact that is very, very special to this edition on the 4 very, very important themes. So how are your solutions aligned to the themes, and how big is the positive impact, and how many people can you reach to it? What's your scale of impact? And can those ideas potentially affect a large number of people across countries and communities? So those are the 4 things that all the judges are going to take very, very closer look at while you are presenting your solutions. So
that's right.
Joyce, would you like to introduce?
All right. I am so excited because these judges, I think they're really amazing. They're taking out a lot of time tonight to come and watch your pitches. But don't be afraid of them. I think a lot of them, I personally know some of these judges, awesome guys, amazing people that have done so much and have so much to share. Some of you came to me today and asked, hey, could we get feedback from the judges? We would love to hear what they think about our idea. We'll try and get the judges to do a lot more of that later on. But first, let me introduce all of them. So my very first judge based in Singapore is Aik-Phong, or AP, as we all like to call him. Hi, AP. He is the managing director of Fave. So AP, would you like to say a few words?
Guys, yeah, like what Joyce was saying, don't be afraid. We'll try to be nice. Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you perfectly well.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So like, don't be afraid of us. We'll try to be nice to you guys. Okay. Yeah, so enjoy your journey. I'm sure you guys did fantastic job to get where you are. So be cool. I think you guys are gonna do fine. Let's have
All
fun.
right. Awesome. And the next judge that I would like to invite is Kaidi, who is the Chief Executive Officer at Funderbeam. Hi, Kaidi. So great to have you here.
Hello, hi. So nice to be here. I'm sending not warm regards from cool Estonia. And really, I remember my first pitch after being a chief executive of Nasdaq Stock Exchange. And, you know, I remember those 15 minutes of my life. So I will be nice.
That's great. Someone that has gone through it, and Kaidi is dialing in all the way from Estonia. So you guys are in for a treat. And the next person that I'd like to invite is Peter, who is the Managing Director and Partner, as well as Head of Southeast Asia for BCG Digital Ventures. Hi, Peter. So great to see you here.
Hey everyone, so excited to be here. I actually didn't know this was at 9 p.m. at night. I thought it was at 9 in the morning and I got all ready. But nevertheless, it's all right. I'm a night person. I think that's a good thing for everyone because I'm much nicer at night than I am during the day. But look, I'm super humbled and honored to be here today and look forward to hearing all the great stuff that's going on.
Amazing. It's great because I'm pretty sure right now at night you're a little bit more in party mood. So you guys, you will tweet the teams very, very well. All right. And I have Suzanne Katz, who is the Chief Commercial Officer at the Next Closet, and she is dialing in all the way from Amsterdam. Hi, Suzanne.
Hey, hi, Joyce. Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be part of such an awesome global community. It sounds like you had a really great time over the past 9 days. What a sprint or maybe even marathon it must have been for you. And I really look forward to seeing all the great results that came out of it.
Amazing. It's the participants that actually had a very tough 9 days. You know, we were just helping them along and we had a very fun time. I can't say for the participants though, because they're probably all in anxiety mode right now.
Oh, I hope we can give them a great finale and let's go out with a bang and let's make this a party. So thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Let's go out with a bang. And my last judge is David, very good friend of mine. David is the Chief Executive Officer of National Youth Council and also one of the organizations that's sponsoring and supporting us in this event. Hello, David.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Joyce. I think I'm the only government representative on the panel, and I will be nice too, but I won't mince my words. And I think we're all here in the spirit of pushing your ideas so that you all grow and we all learn from one another. So looking forward to this evening. Over back to you, Joyce.
Yes, and some of you might remember David also because he was with us last year as well. I think you guys will find that, like what David said, the idea is to really help you guys push yourself to the best limits that you can over this entire event. So really take it in your stride and very, very excited because now we are going to move on to the final pitches. This is your pitch order. So team Teach 80, do get yourselves ready. And then Team Sherpa, do get ready on the back end as well. If any of you have any sort of technical difficulty, we will move on to the next team and we'll move you to the back. All right. So important thing to note, format. Linka, why don't you share about the format for them?
Right. So all the teams altogether, you will have 8 minutes. So ideally, you have 3 minutes for your pitching. So I hope that you time your presentations well. And then you will have a Q&A interactions with judges. So altogether, there will be 5 minutes. And during your presentation, there will be a time reminder in the chat. And once the time is up, Joyce and I will just cut you and invite judges to ask questions. And also when the 8-minute time is up, we will invite the next team to the stage. So yeah, all the best. Very, very excited. Yeah, good luck to your presentations.
All right, I'm going to introduce the first team that's already ready. And Teach 80 is a project that aims to provide affordable professional level tuition for everyone, regardless of income level. So Team Teach 80, anytime you're ready, I will start the timer. Welcome Anjali and Sophia.
Hi. Let's just get a screen shared. All right. So
Looks good. And you guys can start.
Hi, we are Teach 80. So a while ago, me and my sister conducted live streams teaching people coding to raise funds for charity. During these, we taught children of different socioeconomic backgrounds, and we realized that parents from low-income backgrounds find it challenging to support their children academically. Thus, we came up with this problem statement, that there is a lack of supplementary education for lower-income households. This is mainly because parents lack the knowledge and time to teach their children at home and do not have the necessary means and finances to provide external tuition. The current solution is the FAA scheme by the government. However, only some Singaporean citizens are applicable for this, and it can only be used for school fees or other school expenses. Our solution is to provide free tutoring for low-income households, coupled with regularly priced tutoring for middle to high-income families. We'll also be getting 15 to 16-year-old students to teach low-income children as part of their LEAP service points, and we'll be training homemakers as tutors since they already have experience teaching. Now we'll be showing you a demo of our app. So this is Teach 80, and we can get started and we can sign in as a student. We'll be able to select from this list of courses, pick a tutor and book classes with them. We can select our preferred course, and since we are fully subsidized, we'll be paying nothing at all for these courses. If we sign in to Teach 80 as a tutor, we'll first be able to view our schedule, accept requests from new students, and if we're 15 or 16 years old, we'll also be able to have this teaching testimonial, which shows the number of hours we've put in.
Now, onto our revenue model. We have three main revenue streams. Firstly, students paying regular prices, then the certification for tutors, and finally, school subscriptions for LEAP points, where students will be selected by their schools to tutor low-income children for free. These revenue streams will total up to over $4 million. Now, for costs, we have four costs. Firstly, the certification of tutors, then the training program for the LEAP students, and then the free tuition for the low-income children. By our third year, we would have fully subsidized the tuition for 300 children. Finally, we have the app production costs. Since these total up to slightly over $2 million, we will make a profit of over $2 million. If we become a non-profit organization, we can use these profits to subsidize the tuition of another 400 children, making us subsidize 700 children total. Over the past couple of days, we have spoken to many of our stakeholders, such as students, parents, and teachers, and over 90% of them were interested to use Teach 80. Here are some of the things that we would like to accomplish over our first 3 years, such as creating a website to reach out to more people, working with social enterprises to reach more underserved children, working with schools to get students on board our app, and creating a machine learning model to connect tutors to students. This is our team. To end this off, let's build a better future where all of us can get the education we dream of. Help us by sharing this project with people who you feel may be interested to work with us. Thank you.
Right on time. And now over to the judges for the Q&A. Any judges that would like to start? Hi, Suzanne. Do you have a question?
I'm happy to start. First of all,
All right.
congratulations on your pitch. I thought it was very clear and easy to follow. I think you started with your problem statement where you said that parents of these kids find it hard to find the right education. So I was wondering how you will actually reach them and let them know that this exists so that you will actually get your participants in your program.
I think we'll be reaching out to our people by going first through the schools. So we'll be reaching out to the schools in Singapore to tell them if they can sign their students on board our app. And we'll be also reaching out through more mainstream marketing platforms, such as ads on Facebook or Instagram. So we are mostly depending on ads or word of mouth to market our app to people.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
hope that answers your question, Suzanne. And would anyone like to go next?
Yeah, I
Yes.
do have a question. So yeah, thanks for the wonderful pitch, right? So my question is around, you've got, I guess, two business model. One of them is about generating revenue as per like normal, I think $50 an hour per student, right? So, and then the other piece is trying to subsidize give free tuition. I really like the second piece, right? Where you're really trying to help out students who can't pay, right? So then I guess my question is on the first part, there's competition out there already. There's tuition centers, there's training platforms, right, etc., right? And many of them can be very global as well. So do you need the first part to succeed before the second part kicks off, or can they be treated separately?
Would you like to?
Yeah, okay. So we will need the first part to succeed before the second part starts. As seen in our business model, we need a bit of
Time to
starting budget to get our app going. However, as we've mentioned, we also have the part of our app where 15 to 16-year-olds can also tutor students. And I think asking these 15 to 16-year-olds to tutor the lower income families would be a good idea, since they have the ability to teach and they can tutor, and it's converted into their LEAP service points, which is what students in Singapore use to get their O-level grade lower.
And which is
It's a complicated process, but basically it's an incentive to get students to teach. So I think getting those students to teach the low-income kids would be a good idea until we have the budget to kick it off.
Yeah, and as to your point about like being able to find tutors and students to come on our app to help start this off, we actually have this thing where we let the tutors choose how much they're going to ask for each class, so they get to decide the prices. So we feel like tutors will be interested to use this. And as for the students, we're actually still in school, so we can reach out to our own schools we can like get people on board easily.
Does that answer your question, AP? All right,
Oh,
Kaidi.
yeah, thank you.
Kaidi, you had a question?
Yes, I have a question. Wonderful work, girls. Very much love the problem what you're solving, because in due course, the education and getting a good education is important to the youngsters and for their future. My question is, and especially you start from Singapore, but when you also go outside to Singapore, there are many education systems and many educational formats. So how do you scale and is it the country-based, is it the education system-based, or is it the subject-based? Thank you.
I think it'll be a good idea to start off in Singapore and scale up, as you mentioned. And when we scale up, it would be country-based. So getting tutors who have studied in a specific country or who are used to this country's education system to tutor people in that country. Because what we're doing, we don't have a specific curriculum which the tutors have to teach. We just get them to teach whatever subjects they're comfortable with. And that makes the teaching experience a lot better for both parties as well.
All right, we have time for one last question. David or Peter, would you guys like to go? Okay, David.
Okay, Anjali and Sophia, I like your idea of leaving no one behind. That's important. Although also to think about the business model, because, as AP said, the Singapore tuition market is fairly competitive. And so the value proposition to be clear for whoever is coming onto this platform needs to be there. And you may need to also think about an alternative business model where you need to create a sort of a different revenue stream, especially, like I said, if the tuition market is competitive, then how would you generate a revenue stream to subsidize for those that are being left behind in the education system? A great idea and fantastic. Press on.
So is it possible for us to share our screen again?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So,
but you got to do it quick.
okay. So right here in our revenue model, we have 3 revenue streams. So the first, as you mentioned, is the children paying the regular prices. After that, we'll be certifying some of the tutors. So we'll be sending them for external courses. They'll be paying us a certain amount of money. We'll be spending a certain amount of money on the courses, and we'll still be getting revenue out of this. And after that, there's also the school subscriptions. I think even if the amount of children drops a bit, which rightfully it shouldn't, because this is still honestly a very small number of children. Yeah. If the amount of children drops, then we still have these 2 revenue streams, which would be able to pull us back up.
All right, that is all the time that we have for Q&A. Peter, I'll let you go next. Go first for the next one. But can we have, thank you so much, Teach 80. Amazing effort. And I'd like to invite the second team, Sherpa. Do get ready while I introduce you guys. Hi, Sherpa. So, Mark, you can get ready your screen and I will do a quick introduction for you in the meantime. So, Sherpa aims to improve the communication between patients and healthcare practitioners, thereby improving the quality of healthcare in the long run. And so, Mark, if you're ready, you can start and I will start a timer.
Thank you, Joyce. Healthcare begins with you. My name is Mark Criado, and today I'm going to present Sherpa. The global pandemic has exposed one important fact. The healthcare systems across the world are broken. We have identified three main problems that contribute to this: poor quality of care for patients, increased spending by governments, and loss of time and revenue for both practitioners and patients. These three problems in Australia alone last year has cost $37 billion. So the question remains, how can we address a systemic issue that is so highly regulated? We aim to propose a centralized solution which states that healthcare process should begin at the appointment, not after it, and should not end at the appointment. So the centralized model that we suggest focuses on value-based costing. We integrate a feedback loop between practitioner and patient to bridge the communication gap, and this will allow fewer unnecessary follow-up appointments that are charged at full cost and reduce the costing of healthcare in the long run, and overall improve the quality of healthcare that patients experience from their primary care providers. We implement our solution using a streamlined approach that integrates directly into the model that patients and practitioners are already familiar with and are already using. This allows us to provide a model that reduces the barriers of entries and does not add any additional overheads to any particular part of the process. Our business model is purely focused on value-based costing. So we offer a $0 costing for patients using our system. For practitioners, we offer a flexible priced model that uses a software as a service infrastructure approach. This allows us to provide full functionality to our practitioners. We believe that in the Australian market, we are perfectly positioned in regards to our competitors, both in terms of price as well as the functionality that our system would provide. The team that is composed of individuals with diverse skill sets and backgrounds, ranging all the way from cybersecurity to medicine. And the common goal that joins us together is our passion and determination to make healthcare more sustainable for the future. Our traction so far, we've interviewed a few members of the population, both consisting of practitioners and patients, and we've identified the top 3 frustrations that our application aims to solve. Our roadmap is also relatively clear. In the middle of 2022, we want to roll out our MVP and target 500 practitioners, moving on to targeting all of Victoria by the end of 2022, and end of 2023, 3 states in Victoria, end of 2024, all of Australia, international expansion, at $500,000 in annual recurring revenue. At this point of time, we're looking for anyone who'd like to support us on our journey: investors, practitioners, anyone with information on how to navigate government healthcare regulations. Please reach out to us on the information mentioned here below and help us make healthcare begin with you. Thank you.
Awesome. And I will hand it over to Peter first if you have a question.
Yeah, sure. Thanks so much, Mark. Appreciate that. Definitely a big problem space. I recently found myself at the doctor's office and I thought he was prescribing me stuff I didn't need. Question for you. What types of doctors are most likely to participate in a platform like this?
Thank you for the question. Our initial target market is target general practitioners in Australia. Because in Australia, we've got the public and private system where general practitioners tend to be the healthcare towards the rest of the system. Our initial goal would be to target general practitioners first before moving on to specialists in the future.
All right.
Maybe it's just one follow-up question.
Okay, go ahead.
Typically, when you say general practitioners, some people have a book of business and then other people don't have a book of business. Typically, the better doctors have a book of business. How do you make sure you get the quality doctors on your platform?
I think at this point of time, we're targeting healthcare in general. And a lot of times in Australia, one of the bigger problems is GPs who tend to be in metropolitan areas tend to get a lot of patients going there, and a lot of the costing of healthcare is essentially a lot higher in those areas. And of course, when it comes to doctors, the drawback of this approach is that a lot of people in those metropolitan areas are not able to get appointments on time. It's a longer waiting period. So we would like to leverage the fact that there are other practitioners available within the regional sort of community and around Victoria and other states in Australia. And we would like to sort of create that as a global network.
All right. And AP, I assume you have a question.
Yeah, I do. So I guess I've got two questions. One is, What is the uniqueness of this platform that you're trying to solve? And two, who are your competitors in Australia, right? And the reason I ask is like a friend of mine actually has this doctor's app called Book Doc, right? And that's in Malaysia, and this is doing pretty well, in different markets they have. So I'm not sure what the competitive landscape is, and two is what's your uniqueness?
The uniqueness that we're actually offering right now is moving towards a value-based costing where we interact with patients and practitioners to create a feedback loop. We've noticed that other startups in United States, etc., are also moving to this model, indicating there is a need for this one in the global market. As you mentioned, in Australia, we do have competitors. Some of the ones that we can mention is Hotdoc and Health Engine, but generally most of these focus purely on appointment-based structures, trying to get patients to practitioners, but they don't actually offer any follow-up or feedback loop or mechanism, which is what we believe will be our unique value proposition.
Then I have a follow-up, like it's a bit from what Peter as well, right? Very simple question, what kind of doctor? My question, flip side is, what kind of problems are you trying to solve? Let's say, for example, I go to a GP, my own concern is, I'm speaking because I don't want to waste too much time, is that I don't need to communicate. I go there, I get my pills, I'm and done, right? But let's say, for example, you're a cancer patient or long-term terminal, then you might actually have a need for this communication, right? So if it's GP, I'm a little bit skeptical that I need to communicate so much with my GP doctor.
Yes, I agree with you on that one. The reason why we're targeting GPs first is because of the structure of the Australian medical system. I believe that you are correct. We do need to target specialists, but because of the Australian medical system, we start with GPs first before we move on to the specialists, where we can get patients involved and get more active use and benefits out of the particular system.
All right. Suzanne, David, Kaidi. Okay, Suzanne first. Ladies first, yeah. David. I'll go over to you next.
Thank you for this presentation. I think you're tackling a very important topic that will only grow in importance in the coming years. I guess I have two questions. Is one about the feedback loop. I don't know how it is in Australia, but in Holland, we tend to Google everything and know better than the doctor. So how would you actually make sure that the feedback loop is actually fair and not harming the expertise of your doctors? That's my first question. And the second question is more in general. Do you think it's feasible to work on privacy because you're dealing about topics and people that are visiting something that's private, and your data security is very important. So those two things, are you going to deal with that?
Yes, thank you for the question. To address your first question, I believe that you are actually correct in this point, that when it comes to healthcare in general in Australia, I'll address the second one first, actually. We are considering this security consideration as well. My background is in security and privacy, so I do know for a fact that it is important to actually maintain security for patient data. As far as the application is designed, it's more about facilitating the process, but not actually storing a lot of the data. We will be looking at government sort of interaction because Australian government is using the electronic health record model, where the system could actually leverage that one without actually accessing or storing or keeping or retaining or disclosing any of that information. So in that regard, we would address the security aspect. In regards to your first question, I'm sorry on this part here because I'm sort of sidetracked. Could you give me just the first part of the question, if you repeat that one for me?
Yes, and so you talk about the feedback loop, and I was assuming that's about customer rating their visit to the doctor, and if they were happy with it. But sometimes the doctor knows better, even though maybe the patient doesn't really agree with that. So how do you deal with that?
Ask Mark to keep your answer very, very short.
Thank you. That is one of the problems that we did have in the feedback from the users to be actually interviewed. And yes, it is an ongoing challenge, I think, in broader terms and medical terms. So we would like to sort of create a model that integrates the practitioner as part of the process. And we're looking at other costing models that can actually facilitate that, like insurance and everything else. But that is, again, for a longer term view.
All right. I'm sorry, David, but we have to move you on to the next team. Thank you so much, Mark, Kenta, and the team at Sherpa. I am going to invite team 3, Tranquil. So Tranquil, you can come on up and get ready your slides while I invite you guys, while I introduce you guys. And so Tranquil is a workplace mental well-being platform, empowering employees to have balanced lives. Srinath, if you can share screen and put up your slides.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Hi.
Right. Looks good. And you can start. Go ahead.
Yes. Hello, everyone. We are Team Tranquil. Mental ill health post and pre-COVID-19 is unprecedented, and it will cost around $80 to $100 billion for every employer, which was surveyed across globally. And 1 in 5 employees have mental health issues, currently pre or post-COVID, and 85% of the companies think that the COVID have impacted the mental workplace, as well as employees are actually facing mental health issues. What we're trying to do is we are trying to actually check how employers actually they need to engage employees and how they could actually improve the health and collaborate each other. That means I think now with the hybrid work model, everyone is collaborating each other through various digital tools. And what we are trying to do is we are trying to build a platform for the workplace well-being so that we can actually master them by giving the psychological, physical, and culture, so that they would have a vision what they could do actually sitting at home, or it can be at office, and then participate by creating a community so that work as teams, and we honor the individual persons. And how we are trying to do is we actually try to repeat and have the CSR activities for and then achieve their goals. Tranquil is a workplace mental well-being, as I said, which is for the balanced life. So we have actually, so for employees, what we could do is there are clinically based assessments which are connected to the doctors and mental well-being experts, and self-training programs which are internally within the employers, where employees can actually opt for that. Gamification-based appreciations, maybe walk to the moon, or maybe walk in the garden during the workplace, and then appreciate them, appreciate the employees by giving appraisals and everything. And then, so that is part of our solution. And exercise schedules, so that during the lunchtime, employees can actually relax a bit and then do their physical activity. And we have built this on AI and ML and natural language processing. That means even a layman user can type in or ask the app, so that the system would understand the query of the employee and actually answer each and every question. Maybe it can be something like regarding the HR, I would like to connect to a manager. Maybe the chatbot or the solution would actually connect to a manager, and then maybe they might be sitting remotely, and then they could actually chat. Maybe I would like to say that, okay, I want to apply for a leave. I could directly raise a request to the solution to apply for a leave. And for employees, what we are trying to do is we are trying to do the inside dashboards, so that the HR teams and the executives can know what is how employees are engaged in well-being activities, as well as from the HR activities as well. And then we integrate with
Srinath,
many other.
your 3 minutes up.
Thank you.
But I'll let you finish up, and then we will eat into your Q&A time. Okay.
Yes, we are graduated from Barclays Eagle Labs and CLS Group, and have worked on many other customers. And target market is this one. And yeah, and we are trying to build an API and platform for the healthcare and other diversified industries. Thank you.
All right, judges, who would like to go first?
I have a question.
All right, Kaidi.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely important problem, and thank you for thinking about it, and thank you for the solution. Actually, my question is that when we talk about the mental health, then it all starts by admitting I have a problem. So do you have, or have you thought about it? How would you get people to recognize that actually I have a problem? And on the other hand, when you think about the employees admitting in front of the employer or with the system that is connected with the employer, do you think it kind of reduces this admission that, okay, I might have a mental problem? Thank you.
Thanks, Kaidi. I think that's a good question. So yes, because we have worked, I think myself worked in the HR industry for past 18 years, and then we know how employees from the HR would like to implement a best practices. Maybe for your question, maybe employee would not have chatted with the manager for a long time, and then they would like to express something. So our app would act as a mediator, and the manager would know that, okay, this employee needs some motivation. So maybe join a CSR activity or even meet for a drink. So I think that interaction is important. And then the managers and the subordinates would know that, okay, yes, employee would, I think the employee would open up more questions when they actually interact with our solution. It can be mental ill health or something, because nowadays I think everyone is busy. There are so many emails coming in inbox and in a workplace, so employees would not have any time to interact with managers. So our app would actually change that. I think, hope I have answered your question.
Thanks. There's also a hint, and a small hint. You might start all the processes with a test, and then the test directs the employee where he or she needs to go. Thanks.
Yes, yes, Heidi. Yeah, I think to quickly say that, yes, we have worked with GE Edison Accelerator and UCSF, where for the Children Tumor Foundation, so that for example, our app can be diversified for the children healthcare as well, so that kids can actually, or social care people can take a photo of the condition and then upload into our solution, and then it would be directed to the doctors where they can chat, and then that's a workplace. Maybe a social care person can do that. Yeah.
All right. Next question. Any one of the judges, AP, you were up earlier. All right, AP, over to you.
All right, cool. Yeah, I thanks for creating a solution like this, but I think it's a big problem, especially these days, everyone work from home, right? So I've got maybe two suggestions and one question. Maybe I'll ask you to start the question first. Question is, you didn't really have a business model forecast what's the revenue, so I think that would be great if you can show it, if you have. And two is maybe like ideas, right? One is probably you want to have some of gamification, and two is maybe some sort of self-rating. How are you feeling today? Yeah, good, nah, could be better, right? So that you kind of like be able to get some sort of a perspective of overall organization's mental well-being, right? So two ideas and one question.
Yes, yeah. I think for the business model, yeah, we would like to go for pay-as-you-go and subscription based, and also would like to
no, what I'm talking about, sorry to interrupt you, is the revenue stream, right? What's your forecast, right? In 1 year, 2 years, right? Yeah.
Yes. So the numbers, right? The revenue streams. What we're trying to do is we're actually trying to charge around $16 per month for each employer, which is for the enterprise B2B, so that we could get the revenue streams from the healthcare, co-working space, as well as hospitals, or including the enterprises from the workplace industry. So that's the revenue. And then we also wanted to collaborate with universities so that the local communities can use our solution.
All right. We only have 20 seconds left. Any last questions? Else we will move on.
I can do a quick one. It's not so much a question, but a comment, Srinath and Arvind. So in the adoption can be a challenge. So think about the option by employees and employers. Also, it's predicated on the assumption that there's a lot of trust and there's a safe space. And that's key to an adoption of platform like that. So food for thought. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David. And thank you so much, Team Tranquil. I'm going to have to invite you guys to stop sharing so that the next team can start sharing. Welcome, Jet. And you can start your screen share while I introduce you guys. Reminder to the judges and to the participants to keep both your questions and answers brief and concise so that we can make the best use of the 5 minutes. All right. So Sunny Side Up is a solution that fuels solar energy through effective altruism. Jet, once you're ready, screen looks good. I will let you guys start now.
Sure. Can everyone hear me?
Sounds perfect.
Okay. Thank you, Joyce. So hi everyone, my name is Jet and I'm from Team Sunny Side Up. And I would like to start today by sharing one piece of good news and one piece of bad news. So the good news is that we often underestimate... Sorry?
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry?
Is everything okay, Jet?
Yeah, but I hear someone talking in the background.
You're okay. I think it's just your camera that is off. I will let you restart.
Oh, so sorry about that.
Yeah. Is everything okay with your camera, or do you like to just proceed? Okay, you look awesome now.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can. Sure. All right. Okay, restarting. Let's go. All right.
Hi everyone, my name is Jed and I'm from Team Sunny Side Up. Let me start today by sharing one piece of good news and one piece of bad news. So the good news is that we often underestimate the level of giving in Asia because donation is seen as a private matter. But last year, 13 million Grab Rewards points were donated to 20 NGOs in 10 days. And that's equivalent to almost $100,000 in ringgit. But the bad news is that we tend to overestimate the level of solar adoption in Southeast Asia. And this low solar adoption rate persists even though the hard costs of solar are 1/10 of what they were 10 years ago, and despite solar companies multiplying their marketing dollars 10 times in the past 5 years. So what's the implication of these two observations? Well, we initially wanted to be the Warby Parker of solar energy, but our research soon found that this model wouldn't work as 99% of families were hesitant to switch to solar. And that's because we simply don't spend money on things that we don't understand, like solar. So we decided to flip the script. Rather than fund solar impact projects through solar adoption, we decided to facilitate donations towards these projects in order to drive adoption. So we often assume that off-grid solar systems cost tens of thousands of dollars. But in fact, it only costs 650 ringgit to provide enough solar energy for lighting, ventilation, and phone charging stations. And that's equivalent to 100 Grab users each donating 1,000 points. So our unique value proposition is that we create a highly contextualized marketing funnel. First, we acquire a base of donors by starting off as an impact crowdfunding platform that leverages existing loyalty point donation systems. Next, we retain these donors and generate revenue by transitioning to a context marketing platform. The fact that donors are willingly donating their cash and points indicates a passion for sustainability. And so we utilize these quality reports as an education channel to nudge these qualified leads towards solar. As mentioned previously, marketing costs for solar providers have increased to the point that they now account for 6 to 10% of the total cost of a residential solar installation. Through our efficient funnel, we can help providers cut marketing costs by 2/3, and they can then lower the price of their solar packages. And because of our asset-light marketing platform, we forecast that we will be able to hit $600,000 in annual revenue by the year 2025. So our go-to-market strategy is to focus on our serviceable obtainer market of 115,000 Gold and Platinum Grab Rewards members in Malaysia. First, we will work with impact partners to attract users to donate to energy poverty causes. We will then pitch their interest to Grab as validation and pilot our Grab Reward donation. Lastly, we will work with residential solar companies to market rooftop residential solar packages and donations as a pilot channel. While our launch market is in Malaysia, our asset and capital-light model allows us to rapidly scale across Southeast Asia. So as we come to the end of 2021, we only have 9 years left to achieve the SDG 7 of universal access to affordable and clean energy. So join Sunny Side Up today on our journey to follow solar energy through effective altruism. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Judges, over to you guys. Any questions from our judges? Suzanne?
Yes, I think it's a very interesting idea to connect these economic opportunities and sustainable opportunities to altruism. I was wondering if you would consider giving anything back to people that gave to the system or that donated.
Sure, that's a fantastic question. So actually how we plan to do this donation is that we tend to leverage on existing loyalty point donation systems. And also there's an option for them to donate with cash as well. So for most of these e-wallet or super app platforms like Grab or even like Fave Pay, for example, when you make a payment with cash with your e-wallet, you actually get points back in terms of cashback. So that's one aspect that can perhaps incentivize users to donate. The other aspect of it is not just when they donate, but actually when they decide to purchase solar. So we hope that they could perhaps purchase solar installation packages using these e-wallet providers as well. And then they can get large amounts of cash back from that. So that's two ways to incentivize users to donate and purchase solar.
All right.
Sure, thank you.
Kaidi, over to you.
Thank you. I wanted to ask, have you considered of using the newest technology as the blockchain or all the decentralized ledger technologies to build the community and to build the token-like elements of it so that you could create the community, reward the community, and so that belonging into your community and in your community is in a way like a statement, and by the statement it's also a reward. Thank you.
Sure. So actually, I think that's a really, really interesting point that we didn't really consider so much to use blockchain to actually track the progress of that. So currently, although our team may not have much expertise in this stage, we'll definitely consider your suggestions seriously and see perhaps how we could acquire someone with the expertise in this area to look into your implementing and validating your suggestion. Thank you for that.
All right, Peter, you have a question.
Yeah, maybe I'll ask on behalf of AP.
Sure.
Look, most of these companies actually count on some breakage, meaning people don't, they're not redeeming their points for these the economics to work. How do you plan on addressing that?
Sure. So perhaps I'll address this from 3 reasons, right? So the first reason for them is that consumers actually are asking for it, right? And the fact that Grab actually has many different pilot schemes for people to donate their points. So last year, 13 million were donated to 20 NGOs in 10 days. This year, Grab also has another campaign which they call Kita Fit Kita, and they're raising funds for people to use their points to donate meals to those vulnerable workers. So I'll say that's something that consumers want. And so the buyer channel in Grab is actually looking at it and thinking that, and other e-wallet providers are looking at it and says, since the consumer demand is there, it's important for us to meet the consumers. The second is from a sustainability perspective. So many of these e-wallet providers are looking to IPOs or further investments, further rounds of funding, and ESG commitments and ESG reports are very, very important at this stage. But perhaps the third reason that might appeal most to AP, and let me just do an impromptu sales pitch here, right, is that for many of these e-wallet providers and super apps to grow, one way that they can grow is to actually reach out to the underbanked and the unbanked, right? So for example, what we are doing here is that we are actually providing solar impact projects to those who do not have energy. And if you think about it, these families who now have energy now have the opportunity to get a mobile phone, right? And in getting the mobile phone, they now have access to e-wallets like Fave, for example. And so what we're actually doing is that we're actually increasing the market size. We are shifting the unbanked population to now an underbanked population that makes it feasible for e-wallet providers like Fave to actually reach out to them. So although it might seem like the break-even point, like the profits actually come from users not redeeming their loyalty points, I would like to put forth the suggestion and my personal opinion that actually, if these e-wallet platforms allow users to donate their points, it can actually create a larger total addressable market for them that can further spearhead their growth in regions that they're perhaps in regions that they're not so prominent in right now.
AP looking very pensive, so I'll let you go next.
All right, cool. Yeah, since you mentioned like Fave. So I think Peter's absolutely spot on. Where some of us kind of require the points to provide value for ecosystem partners and for ourselves or the merchants on platform, right? But I think there's still this altruism part. We've also done some of this donating points and gifting and meals matching, right? I think it does work. So my question is around, okay, fine, you have this and you kind of have help out the kampong sheds. So is that such a big problem? If you talk about in Malaysia or in Singapore, I think everyone is electrified, right? Is that a problem that I'm not aware of? Okay, so this is the one, huh? Okay, got it.
So maybe I'll just walk through the numbers very briefly in the time that I have. So geographically speaking, I'll just focus on Malaysia, right? So we are very familiar with Peninsular Malaysia, but Malaysia also has the 2 states of Sabah and Sarawak, which are kind of off Peninsular Malaysia. So this, because of geographical reasons, there has a higher percentage of them who are off-grid, and also social culturally speaking, there's a higher proportion of them who are indigenous. So actually in Malaysia currently, there's about 2 to 4% of the population who are off-grid, and that's a total of 1.3 million. So for e-wallet providers like Fave, that's actually a population currently that you might not be able to reach. And so this is kind of like the scale of the population.
So we'll take it offline.
All right,
Sure.
take it offline.
I'll look forward to that.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sunny Side Up. I'll invite you to stop sharing your screen. And for the next team, Gofem, you guys can start getting ready while I introduce you guys. But thank you so much, Sunny Side Up. Hello, Gofem team. You can start your screen share. Awesome. And I will, okay, while you toggle over to your slides, I'm going to do a quick introduction for you guys. So Gofem is a unified portal to support women, providing them a platform to share their problems and for them to help them make the best decision concerning their problems. So Kevia, over to you.
Okay. Firstly, good evening to everyone present here. We as a society say that we have made sure that men and women are treated equally in different spheres of life, but most women don't seem to be agreeing with this. Let's start here. Well, many cultures don't give the same amount of freedom to little girls, causing them to start that discrimination point. That's the root. Hence, these girls suppress their feelings, and that goes on and on. 63% of Americans believe that there will always be gender discrimination in the United States. And this discrimination, this gender gap, will take 108 years to close. And once we women try to raise our voice against it, we are just put down by saying that we are being paranoid and not being team players. Well, this problem goes down deeper. According to the World Health Organization, mental disorders, including depression and anxiety, are going to be predominantly affecting women, that too 1 in 3 women. And that's not a statistic that we should be proud of. What can we do about this? What if we created a safe space for women, wherein they were given the freedom to express themselves freely, and we would be able to promote their mental well-being as well? That's where we step into the picture, presenting to you Gofem, the ultimate safe space for women. The features that we will be offering are listed below. First of all, job listings for women in different sectors, so that women know that if they don't get selected for a job that they have applied to, it's not because of their gender. Chat room services, That is, women will be able to communicate with other women all across the globe, and they'll be able to express their problems and share with each other. A doodle wall for women to express their creativity and not get judged for it. And we will also have a blog containing women achievements and motivational quotes to make sure that women feel inspired to keep hustling every day. This is how the app would look like. As you can see, we have the chat room feature here. The business model is pretty simple. We would be working on a subscription-based charging. The charges have been seen on the screen. If you look at the current female population in the world, that's about 3.9 billion. If you look at percentage of female population having smartphones, that's about 2.9 billion. And the age group that we are targeting, which is between 15 years old to 64 years old, that is about 2.5 billion people as end users, which is the market to tap. If you look at the financial wise, mental health is going to cost the world economy by 2030 $6 trillion US dollars, and that's a huge market to tap. Our future vision is to partner up with different restaurants and have offers on our app. We should also be working with psychologists to make sure that the platform is therapeutic to all the users, and we plan to build a large community for women. Our next project timeline, December 2021, we will be releasing the beta version for testing. Jan-Feb 2022, we will be fixing bugs, receiving user feedback, and releasing the final version of the application. March and May 2022, we will be tracking user satisfaction. And in June 2022, we will be working towards our vision, which I have already mentioned. This is our team. And my name is Kavya, and I would really like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to present here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Gofem. And over to the judges. All right, Peter.
Yeah, sure. Thanks so much. Definitely a super important problem to solve. Being a father of two girls, I'm definitely super interested in this space. You had that page that showed all the different solutions that you were offering, including job listings and a few other things. Which of those, when you talk to your customers, seems like the one that will make the biggest difference?
So the one that's going to make the biggest difference is where you're giving them a platform to basically connect to each other and share their problems. So for example, I have some problem or she has some problem, she posts it on the app. There could be another lady in the world who is facing a similar issue or like basically found a solution to how to solve that problem. So she can suggest a solution to her and they can mutually solve their issue.
I think it's very common that women, we try to solve all our problems ourselves. I don't know if this is a universal thing, but in at least whoever I have seen. And this app will provide women that platform to at least trust others and communicate with others, because it is sometimes easier to communicate with a stranger rather than communicating with someone you know, because the fear of being judged would not be there.
Also, to add on to this point, you asked us about the most important feature. We intend on gamifying the entire platform later on. So for example, how do you get a person to share their problem? When you show them there is a bright light at the end of the tunnel. So you give them some incentives for sharing their problems and posting solutions for other people's problems. That way we can promote more engagement on the app.
All right, and Kaidi, over to you.
Yes, thank you. Definitely an important problem to tackle. I have a question about the languages and how many languages do you plan to introduce the app? Because what I understand, you talk about the global, but there's many languages. So do you have multilingual app and who are the customers? And maybe also hint when you do the platform for the women aged 15 to 64 and I remember the marketing picture being only part of very young women. So you use the diversity of the age in your marketing materials as well. Thank you.
Yes, so like currently we intend on launching our app in the market of UAE, that is United Arab Emirates, as well as India. So we have taken care these parameters and accordingly we have decided to go with Arabic, English and Hindi as of yet. But we intend on, as we go global, we're going to be working on the multilingual factor as well.
Okay, I'll probably go ahead with my question. I love what you guys are trying to solve the problem. I think it's huge. So we used to run a fitness subscription model, right? Like K-Fit before it became Fave. So I think one suggestion or a problem I face is that $7 USD is not cheap, right? And if I'm having problems, I have to go and pay money. I don't know about that. And you may not get a critical mass. You may want to consider freemium or some sort of advertising revenue to your business model. Otherwise, your customer acquisition cost at $7 USD is going to be extremely high. So just a feedback on that one. But I love what you guys are doing.
Okay, we will look into that. Thank you.
That's a good one. We'll actually try to incorporate that. Thank you.
Welcome.
Any other
Is there still time for questions, Joyce?
Sorry, yes, I was on mute. Suzanne, over to you. Or David, would you like to go first?
Just very quickly, do you think there is a specific target segment amongst women that you are better fit for? And also building on Peter's question, just to push you a little bit more, what exactly is this segment looking for other than chats and networks? So when you describe that, what is that they're looking for?
So when you're talking about the age group, that within the large age group, we would be targeting the ages between 19 to 30, because that's when actually the career aspect comes in. And that's one of the features that we have included in the app. Because when we have noticed that even where we have sent out the questionnaires, that women feel that they have been rejected for a particular job, even though they are extremely qualified, just because of the fact that they are women. So this is a major aspect of what we are trying to solve here. So that would come into play in this age group a little more than in the others. So I think that age group would be targeted a little bit more than the others. But yeah, obviously it is for all women everywhere.
Also, another problem we are trying to solve here is that, so okay, there are alternatives on the market for this. For example, you have Facebook groups and all of that. You can make a group amongst yourselves. But how do you restrict that no guy or like no male member of the society or like non-binary member of the society enters it? So like for that, like this is the future vision we intend to do. Like this is not incorporated as of yet. So every country has their own, like identity card. For example, US has the SSN, India has Aadhaar card, UAE has their own Emirates ID. So you have your gender associated on that. So we are working on an AI-based model which will recognize, you just take a picture of that card. It identifies your gender mentioned on that. Only if it's a female, you are allowed to enter into this application. So like you cannot basically enter if you're a male or basically a non-binary member of the society.
This sets us apart from all your Facebook groups or WhatsApp groups that you may have.
So that way we can assure women that it's a women-based society just for women by women.
And women.
All right, I have to ask you guys to stop now. I'm so sorry, Suzanne. I'll let you go first in the next team. But that's all the time that we have. And I am going to introduce the next team. Thank you so much, Team Gofem.
Thank you so much.
All right. And to the next team, Wework. If you guys are ready, you can turn on your cams and start your screen share. And I'll do a quick introduction for you guys as well.
Here we are.
All right. And so Wework aims to revolutionize the office building industry, empowering people to have access to offices at vibrant locations and business communities. And Wework looks good.
Thank you very much. So you can.
All right, Wework. Are you guys there, David? Okay, looking good.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, awesome. So my colleague is already there. She's gonna take care of the presentation. So let's roll. So this is me a few days ago. I had a vision, but I didn't have a team. So I joined Techstar Global. And here I met Eve and Mohammed. And together we hustled during a week to bring to the world a company that is borderless, designed to empower people, and driven by the desire to give you a perspective about what you can achieve in life. Because work is not just work is our life work. So what is happening in the workspace industry? Three major forces are changing how and where we live. The first one, of course, is economy, because of COVID, as you know. Second one is society, and people are working in a very different way today. The third one, of course, is technology. And we have companies like Zoom telling us that the future is virtual. But I mean, is technology going to disrupt a 1 trillion office space industry? Well, the simple answer is yes and no. This presentation is about our business in the workspace industry and our vision to stay ahead in this rapidly changing market. So how big is the problem? Pretty big, as you can see. And so the office space industry is a 1 trillion industry globally, which is today traditional, fragmented, and inefficient. Our vision is to bring to the world a company that is asset-light, technology-driven, and highly scalable, allowing anyone and everywhere to reimagine their life work. We inspire ourselves from companies like Uber, and Airbnb. And we want to do in the office space industry what Uber did in the taxi industry and Airbnb in the flexible accommodation. Sorry. So the industry, as you know, is pretty big. It's a 1 trillion. But we focus on the flexible office industry, which is a 26 billion. I'm looking to take 10% on that. Next. Perfect. This is a view of the global flexible office. As you can see, it's very fragmented, which give a lot of opportunity for digital disruption. How are we different? Well, simply said, we are asset-light, technology-driven, and highly scalable. Really focus on community. And because of that, able to enable a network effect. Next, the business model is straightforward, like Airbnb before us and Uber before us. We take a small commission in every transaction. What we are really doing is bringing together the power of social network with the power of offline communities and build an environment where anyone, anywhere can reimagine the life work. This is actually not just a video. This is true. You can go online now and start to join the waiting list. By the way, if you do it and you enter Techstars Global promo, you're gonna receive something special. So looking forward to see you on the platform and looking forward to answer some questions. Thank you again.
All right, awesome. You have a working demo as well, so go ahead and try it out. And over to our judges. Suzanne, I will let you start first if you have a question.
Yes, thank you for your very enthusiastic presentation. And I think now with COVID, our work life will continue to change. So I guess you're very well positioned to tap into that. My question might be obvious, but one of the sponsors of this event is Wework. And your pitch sounds very similar to what they have been pitching. So I wonder how you compare to them and if you consider them a competitor.
No, we don't consider them a competitor. Instead, to put it simple, like Airbnb, we are not looking to own or manage any physical space. We are there instead to help people who manage and own spaces to provide a better service to their clients. So we're not in competition with Wework. We instead, I would say, a platform where they can reach out to more people and more clients.
All right.
So they would be one of your target customers.
Absolutely, yes. And that's why we're here pitching. No, I'm joking.
Okay. And over to you, Kaidi.
Yes, thank you also for the pitch. So the first, I understand it's quite clear how to reach out to the office space providers, but what are your strategies and tactics to reach to the people who need the office?
I would love to share that when Wework cannot hear. No, I'm joking. Well, there is a lot of way. I think Techstars is actually a good place to connect with startups and founders. And that could be eventually the beginning of something much more long term. So to put it simple, the way how we can reach out and connect with the customer, the demand side, of course, is through organizations like Techstars. If we want to do it in a way that is scalable, one by one will be a long shot.
Okay, and Peter, over to you.
Can you clarify a little bit more what you mean by not competing with Wework? I'm not totally sure I understand the model. So it's not physical space, but what is it that you're providing then?
Sure. To put it simple, if we can compare with Airbnb. Airbnb, in a sense, they don't own or manage any room, but at the same time, they are the biggest accommodation provider today. So in the same sense, we are not looking to manage physical space. We are instead a channel, a marketplace. So we are not really in competition because we don't own space, we don't manage space. And so their business is asset heavy, where we are much more in asset light.
Okay, got it. So the Airbnb of office space, basically.
Correct.
Okay, and AP, over to you.
Yeah, seeking one last question is that because right now I'm trying to understand who the niche you're trying to solve. I mean, and they're trying to target, right? Either for consumer or the office space provider. Because right now I have like the WeWorks and most of the time actually I use cafes or work from home, right?
Yes.
And yeah, so who is your niche customer and which category that you're trying to target, right? Customer from both side, demand and supply.
Well, from the supply side, it's pretty simple. It's workspace providers. I'm not sure. Yeah, the coffee environment we can do it from time to time, but I'm not 100% sure it's the best place where we can work every day. So I prefer to stay focused on the office space, although some people focus in other type of industry. So on that side is the office space, straightforward. And on the other side, in terms of demand, well, demand can go from the solo entrepreneur to the startup to the SME. Anyone that today is looking for a hybrid workspace environment is a potential client. And because our offer, because we don't manage space, at the end of the day, we can provide more offer. We can provide more spaces because we are not directly buying and managing those spaces, but we instead empower people who own those spaces to reach out to more people and basically have a more successful business.
All right, and that is all the questions from our judges. Okay, so I know we are 6 teams down. Amazing work, life works. I am going to give the judges a quick break. If you guys need a bio break or need to get some water, go ahead, we'll do a quick 3-minute break if you guys can come back by then. And in the meantime, for the next couple of teams to just get ready, I am going to invite my co-host Linka back on. Welcome back, Linka. Great to have you back. And yes, Linka, so we've heard from, just from the couple of teams from earlier, we've heard from teams from Singapore, we heard teams from Australia, LifeWorks was from Italy, from India, from UAE, they're really from all around the world. And Linka, you've done a lot of traveling yourself, right? You are, but you are currently based in Thailand. That's right. And, when you were, how many startup weekends have you participated around the world?
Very interesting, my startup weekend experience, because I've never participated 2 startup weekend in one city. So every of my startup weekend experience is in a different city. So I participated the one in Hong Kong, organized a few, and then I organized the one in Bangkok, and I went to Beijing, and I went to Shenyang, and I facilitated a few online because of COVID. And each of the edition is from different cities or multiple locations. So I've never attended one startup weekend that is from only one
from the same city.
From the same city, exactly.
Amazing. What is your startup weekend memory? Or one of the, those that you've organized or participated, what is a really great memory from your startup weekend experience?
Well, I think there are a lot, but I think, the most unforgettable one is always my first one.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, because I think it was really a true experience. When I joined, a facilitator was saying that you don't need to have a business degree to start a startup, right? And then through the whole experience and process, I feel like that was so true. I don't really need a business degree, have publish my research paper. That was like a really hands-on experience. And till these days, I've always remember, in the before that, we always print t-shirts and there's always a motto behind our back.
Yeah, that's true.
I have my favorite. So it's from one of the Hong Kong edition. It's called "Life is Short, Build Something Matters." It's such a motivating quote.
I know we used to have all these t-shirts, but you're right. The first one is always, such a sweet experience, right? It's like your virgin experience, and then it's just so memorable in that sense. Also, by the way, a call out to the judges: if you're back from your break, do turn on your cams or give me a sign and let me know that you guys are back. Okay, we're just waiting for AP. Okay, so while AP, when you're back. Oh, okay. All of you guys are back. That was really fast. Okay, so we're ready to go then, because I don't want to drag on too late. Thank you so much, Linka. And I'm going to hand it over to you for the next 6 teams. And we are going to continue hearing from the rest of the pitches.
Thank you so much, Joyce. Welcome back, all the judges, and I hope the next team, you are also super ready. So next, let's welcome the team Towerspace. So the team, please go ahead, get your slide deck ready. So while you're doing that, let me just quickly introduce you. So Towerspace is an online platform that creates easy access to mental care services. And also just want to highlight what is so special about this team. It has teammates from all the way from Kenya. So I'm sure that for the past 9 days, it was a truly, unforgettable experience to find the time to work together. All right, so the next team, Towerspace, if you're ready, please start sharing your screen. And whenever you are ready, you can start.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes.
Hello everyone, I'm Victor and I'll be presenting Towerspace. Did you know that 1 in 4 people are experiencing some form of mental health challenge? Mental health challenges contribute to 14% of the global burden of disease worldwide. 81% of this burden occurs in low and middle income countries. Individuals living with mental health challenges in these regions experience a scarcity of resources and a shortage of trained professionals, limiting their access to evidence-based treatment, and support for mental health services in these countries consistently lags behind other health priorities, despite the fact that mental health challenges are a prominent global health concern. Stigma greatly limits access to care and decreases the quality of life of individuals affected by mental health disorders, and the global mental health burden is magnified for individuals living in low-resource settings. Poor mental health negatively impacts the development of social connections, cultural belonging, emotional well-being, educational opportunities, and even economic resources. With the added stressors of the COVID-19 pandemic, this problem needs to be solved urgently. And to solve this, Towerspace provides a transformational, affordable, and accessible solution that has the potential to scale at a larger, that has the potential to be sustainable at a larger scale. And we use integrated innovation that is scientific, technological, social, and business innovation to develop this solution. Our solution is a mobile app that makes available the mental health experts and provides information on how to better take care of yourself and your loved ones. All this is informed by the international standards, that is ICD-10 and DSM-5. In addition, we include activities that one can undertake to better assist themselves, and we've gamified the experience to make it more enjoyable and constant motivation to face the vicissitudes of life. Despite this, we recognize the impact of social determinants of health in mental health, and will partner with organizations seeking to offer these services so that to have a lasting impact and scale our efforts. In that concern, we will work with community health volunteers to offer our services at the last mile. And through our strong partnership, we aim to advocate for favorable policy of mental health at the national and global level. Our value proposition is having a safe space, mental health professionals, and a community to take this journey together, including activities. Our business model will be making revenues through subscription, marketing, commissions, and donations and grants through our partnerships. We aim to impact 6.5 million individuals in Kenya and 1.2 billion globally. Here, our future plan is to create a pilot in Kenya, hire more technical personnel, and get involved in advocacy and policy making. Here is my team, and go forward to show you the prototype of the app. Here is the app. As you can see, it has various languages you can choose. You can log in, sign, create up an account, accept the consent form, put in your PIN, you need the data to be secured, and voila, you're in. You can talk to a mental health therapist, you can do mental health screening for yourself. On the side, you can see your library, you can join a community. It's a multinational community, Kenya, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Nepal. Within the app also, you can do some various activities such as journaling, putting in your experiences of the day, and recording how you feel.
Thanks, Victor. Just a reminder, your pitching time is up, but you can go ahead and finish it.
We also provide resources according to the various problems you might be facing. We have articles, podcasts, and books. You can also share your progress with friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Victor. I would like to invite judges to start asking their question. David, would you like to start?
Okay, just a quick one, Victor, easy one. What does Tawi mean? And the second question is, what is the area of need in Kenya in the mental well-being space, and for which age segment? Thanks.
Thank you. For that, we we deliberately put it outside of the slides because of short time frame. Our target market is individuals between 18 to 40 years old, both male and female. And mental health challenges currently, they are not being addressed in the country, including lack of policy framework and also lack of insurance cover for this challenge. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, David. Any other judges would like to ask questions? Okay, AP.
Yeah, I do. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thanks for this. I guess two quick questions. One is that, is this prevention, intervention, and what stage of the problem are we trying to solve? And then two is that, what is the typical user experience, right? If I'm having a mental health issue, I'll probably Google, right? Versus download an app. So yeah, so how and why, how are you going to target this, right? And use your app versus just Googling and finding some resource somewhere, or Telegram group chats and stuff, right? Yeah.
So our app works on both sides, both prevention and tackling the solution, the problem, because we provide information to better take care of other people, and also for those who are suffering from mental health challenges can also get assistance here with activities. So we put in activities such as meditation, yoga, and breathing exercises. And also on the resource information, we have resources on every type of problem you might be facing. Maybe addiction, stress management, relationships, grief, abuse, depression. We got all this from user research while doing the market research for all this. So we understand the problem that people are facing. Did I answer it adequately?
Yes, it does. And I have a trick question for you.
Yes.
So you have a competitor potentially, I think it is Gofem, right? I don't know whether you heard them, right? Okay, so how are you going to be different from Gofem?
Yeah, so a differentiating point from Gofem is that we have mental health screening within the app. You can find out if you have the problem, and this mental health screening test can be interpreted by mental health practitioners within the app, and so that you get information on what you are facing. And also we have a community here. As you can see, we have a community which is multinational in Kenya, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Nepal. Plus also we use activities-based, so behavioral-based therapy to solve this problem rather than usage of drugs. That is the mainstay.
Cool, thank you. And quick note is that whether you win this or not, please we can just launch this in Kenya, okay?
Yeah. Sure, thank you.
Thanks, AP. Kaidi, over to you.
Yes, thank you. Very, very interesting, and thank you also not only building some kind of solution, but actually building a library. My question is about the trust, because people starting to use the app of Aik and really open up for the mental health and mental problems. How do you think you can win their trust?
Yeah, for winning their trust, within the app, we have communities. As you can see, with the communities, we've limited which people can join the communities. So like if you see here for young adults, men, this app is taking a use case of a woman. So you can't join this group here because it's for men. And on the other side, within the platform, we've put in security measures, including a PIN, as you saw in the beginning. So you can't just find other people's data, and we have experts within the communities to moderate the conversation so that people don't insult each other, abuse each other, or disrespect. Yeah, thank you.
And it's anonymous, right?
Yes, it's anonymous.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Victor from Towerspace. That's exactly right on time for you. So let's bring up the next team, Team Remo. So if you can start sharing your screen, and I'm gonna introduce you briefly. So Remo is the remote workers pocket assistant, helping you to find working hotspots fast. So Remo, whenever you're ready, you can start.
A lot of teams today have recognized the COVID-19 pandemic is a distressing time, but every once in a while, there's a way to directly benefit the lives of others. Although it's been difficult, we have seen a structural shift in where work is taking place, because remote work is no longer a perk. In the wake of the pandemic, about 60% of companies will be offering hybrid work models and 10% will go fully remote. That's a lot of remote workers not going back to the office. Now, despite companies spending massive amounts of money trying to buy their employees' comfort through chairs, faster Wi-Fi, and equipment, there are still parents sitting across from each other at a small kitchen table with their children playing in the background of a staff training meeting. This is why we created Remo. You don't have to make your space work. Find a space that works for you fast. Our algorithm helps remote workers find spaces suited to them and their preferences. Whether you're in need of a cozy cafe that accommodates differently abled, or you're the digital nomad on a business trip who wants to ditch the hotel room for a conference room that's open late, Remo's for you. It's simple. Sign up for free, find all kinds of public and private spaces tailored to your needs. Users that value guarantees will also enjoy premium because you can book spots at the venues through our platform. Space owners who would like to form lasting relationships with a wide network of returning customers are also welcome to claim or register their business on our platform for free. Update the busyness of your venue live so that our customers know where to find quieter spaces, and you don't need to worry about no customers during quiet hours, slow hours in the business. Receive exposure on our platform and enjoy increased foot traffic through your doors. A paid monthly membership will also show your business on our featured spaces homepage and will gain you access to Remo's analytics. This is especially beneficial for businesses like co-working spaces. 75 million current workers globally could continue remote work, and more than 35 million people will work remotely in the United States. That's why we're starting in California, the state with the most number of remote workers. The market for managing remote work is currently valued at $3 billion and will triple in size by 2025. Starting with the US market, we plan to expand to more than 30 countries with more than 200,000 daily users. This is all possible because of our incredible team. We have over 100,000 hours of experience on entrepreneurship, management, marketing, design, and development. We are offering a side-by-side comparison of all different types of venues, cafes, libraries, and co-working spaces that have need and preference-based filters, including ambiance of the venue, price, Wi-Fi speed, capacity, seating arrangements, amenities, and more. We want to unfragment the process and hope you find specific, fast results presented in a user-friendly way. So we welcome you on our journey of revolutionizing the productivity and sustainability of the emerging remote workforce. So from myself and the Remo team, thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Remo. That's very on time. So over to judges to ask questions. Suzanne, you want to go first?
Yeah, I think I actually really recognize this need. So I'm going to be a customer, but it's also almost, I cannot imagine it doesn't exist yet. Are there no competitors in your market, or what are your competitors?
So currently the only comparable solutions is either Googling spaces, which is very inefficient, and you can't compare as easily, and you can't have any as many preference-based filters. And then also there's co-working space finder websites, but we see that it, as mentioned, it only caters to very expensive corporate venues. There's nothing for the student who needs to study for an exam, or, you know, this is more accessible, and no, nothing like this really exists.
Oh, that's cool. And then as a follow-up, maybe, so you are targeting individuals, right? So you're not targeting companies that are stimulating more remote work, or will you do that too?
We hope to target individuals as well as companies, because companies can register their entire workforce for us. And if they do that through a paid membership, they can also receive analytics maybe on their workers. Yeah.
Also, can I add to that?
Yes.
So also, as we grow our member base, and we have this user base, and we can also work with co-working space to actually help them build bigger user base through our platform, and work with co-working space in the long run. But that is not immediate business plan though.
Okay, thanks, Susan. So over to Peter.
Hey, just a quick question. So the business model, I guess you have assumed that a venue, like let's say a coffee shop or a hotel or a library, can basically offer their space, and presumably that's for a certain amount of money. Is that right?
So we're currently offering freemium, so they can sign up for free or claim their business for free. But if they would like analytics on like maybe returning customers and things like that, then they can pay membership. It's more about promoting a network rather than making a business. but obviously it is sustainable financially.
Okay, because one of the questions I had is if I'm living in my neighborhood, I probably locate the place that I like, maybe 3-4 places that I like to go to. How do you keep me on platform?
Well, we want to offer perks, and obviously we're not just targeting people in small communities. We would want to promote like them venturing out to other venues, and it's also for, if you're on a business trip, you're not aware of the area and you need efficient results fast. So it's also catering to that demographic.
Also, can I add to that? Also, Peter, if all the 4 spaces are booked, all are already booked, and if you go to the spaces and you cannot find a seat, it's a time waste for you. So you can just check if they are not booked or find another new space nearby that you have never been to find, if all those your favorite places are booked already.
Okay, thanks. We have time for one last question. Any judges want to come in?
Yeah, I do. So can I answer your subscription again? How much is someone paying for it? And I have an add-on quickly to that.
So you can register for free if you don't want to do premium.
Okay, got it. And premium is how much?
We haven't decided yet because we want to get feedback from our target audience first, because we want to listen to their needs. Yeah.
Okay. I love what you guys are doing. You might want to consider looking at ClassPass business model, right? And it may really fit really well what you do, right? And I, as a student, I think that's a great point, right? As a student, you don't have places to study, not just like working adults, right? So you pay a certain fee, I don't know how much, 10, 20, 30, 40 bucks, and access to a certain number of hours, I think would be really good. Then I think with that, you also can pay the the office space or the cafe some money for each hour booking, right? Or whatever that unit is, right? Yeah, so that's a quick suggestion there.
Oh, that's a great idea. Thank you.
You're welcome. Love it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Team Remo. I think that's all from this team. And let's move on to the next team. Let's welcome Team Noct. So Team Noct, you can go ahead and start sharing your screen. So while you are doing that, let me introduce Team Noct. So Team Noct aims to create a user-centric identity, vetting, and data exchange system that is transparent and secure. So Team Noct, whenever you are ready, you can start.
Yeah, just give me a second. Yeah. Because of the pandemic, we are seeing a huge shift towards a hybrid work environment with teams spread across various countries. 2 most important things for this to be possible and successful are credentials and data. In India and throughout the world, the forgery of documents is a growing problem. The fraudulent reproduction of certificates has increased significantly in recent years, becoming a menace for stakeholders in the education system. Added to that, number of fraudulent identity cases is at all-time high. Forgers use this to enter into universities and get jobs. Imagine the scale of the problem in cross-border country remote work. Doctor and engineers, 2 of the most sensitive professions, are also affected by this. In India, more than 40,000 cases were reported last year, among them 57 being doctors. This puts businesses and as well as consumers at risk. This is what we are solving at Connect. One identity for everything. We are creating a user-centric identity vetting and data exchange system that is transparent and secure, built on blockchain technology. Our solution puts user at the center of the identity. This will help businesses verify the identity of the candidates in real time. Moreover, the blockchain gives power back to the users to have control over the data they share, safeguarding the data from security using or being shared with third parties without user consent. It is easy to manage, which is universal and interconnected with compliance ready. In India alone, the market for digital identity and access management is 4.5 billion and about 35.6 billion globally. We plan to work with businesses globally, helping them with identity verification during the process of recruiting with 4.95 billion in playing field. But later on, we will expand our services into workplaces, financial institutions, governments, and every sector that is affected by this problem. We are B2B business, and we are charging a subscription-based fee annually per user basis per identity vetting, and with a service-oriented market of 189.3 million and document digitization with 31.5 million. We plan to reach 1 lakh businesses with a revenue of $200 million by 2025. To do this, we have assembled a winning team of versatile backgrounds ranging from entrepreneurship to management to engineering to design to software development. Our survey shows that 45% of the people were asked to verify documents 5 times a year, and majority of them feels the problem needs to be solved with security, ownership, and variety of acceptance. And 87.5% of the users want a safer and transparent system. Our app has all the identity and data information in one place, easy to manage for the user. And our organization website has everything needed to manage a user in identity vetting and data exchange platform. We are seeking an amount of $500,000 in exchange of 8% later as a stake. As pre-seed funding, we will invest this fund for building our team and the product in future. Together, let's create a safer and transparent world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Knocked. Let's welcome judges to ask their questions. Who would like to start? Kaidi?
Yes, I'm happy to start. Thank you. Definitely identity, it's a big problem, and I would split your project into 2. First is the source data and the validation of the source data and the identity first, and then I understand the blockchain and the element of the blockchain. So how can you secure that the initial source of data is validated? Thank you.
Yeah, so initially we can go on with our initial procedures where we use AI to identify the documents shared with us to verify with the third parties, but we want to go other way around, where we want to first get in with the organizations. Like if it is universities, the issuer will come on board and the verifier can directly get his documents onto the app just by connecting with the organization ID that he has. So that's how we are trying to get on it, and we'll verify. Yeah, that's
So if I could add here for a minute, right? Institutions around the world are already issuing blockchain-based certification. I can take my own example. I'm a recent graduate of NUS, and my university issued a blockchain-based certificate for my graduation certificate. Right? But what's missing in this is that they are not really able to connect that certificate, which says NUS did issue it, to to the fact that this is issued to me as a person and not to any other random individual. What we offer is a platform where we match the 3 different groups of people. So that is people who are seeking authentication, people who own identities, user, as well as people who issue. And to address the problem that you had specifically identified, which is how do we source the information, while we are onboarding issuers onto our platform, we offer our own third-party AI as well as on legacy-based certificate verification that helps the user take control of building their own identity.
Thanks so much. Maybe I can jump in.
Yeah.
So love the space, love the idea. I think you're talking about verifiable credentials and zero knowledge proofs, an area of deep interest for me. Hey, what is the first use case you want to go after? In my experience, talking about identity, digital identity, credentialing in general, I think nobody disagrees, and then they go and download TikTok or the Russian Face app or whatever it is. So what's the first use case that you see as starting to drive this network effect and getting these identities online?
Yeah, the first vertical which we want to go towards is education sector. There are very less compliances and very high probability of testing out our technology easily. So that is where we want to go towards. And yeah, that would be the sector.
Okay. We have time for one. Oh, sorry. Vendath, you want to add on?
Yeah, I think I just missed the second part of the question, what Peter asked.
Sorry, the second part of the question was just what's the first use case? Because there's so many different use cases. You could do banking, you could do credit, you could do jobs, you could do academic credentials. There's so many different areas.
Yeah, thank you.
Over to Suzanne.
Yeah, it was also my question. So as a two-sided marketplace with peer-to-peer transactions, this is actually also an issue I'm dealing with every day. So I was wondering indeed what's your use case, but also how can I trust you with this data? Because if you're going to be the single point of truth for these identities, you have a hell of a lot of data available. and that gives power. And then you should be like, it should be safe with you.
Yeah, we do not store all the systems on our central server or kind of thing. We store it in a distributed server with IPFS. The user can store all his data in the IPFS thing, and you can exchange through the blockchain network. So we will not be able to see, and it will be even encrypted and stored into the distributed system.
Well, can I ask one question?
Yes.
Yeah, so I had a very simple question to Peter, which is your use case, right? You might think about it. I'm not fully convinced that the education sector is probably where you're able to create a flywheel. So you might have a deeper talk about that. And the second question is, like, look, every government having a lot of digital identity, right? Like in Singapore, you've got SingPass, right?
Yeah.
And so how do you complement that, and how do you see that coming in to your solution? I think it's probably an important point. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So initially, we are focusing on the developing countries. I see a lot of developed countries having decentralized system going under research and kind of thing. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to enter with developing countries into the market. But as we expand in our services into a lot of commercial vectors, I think we can show ourselves as a different from what a government does in self-sovereign. So I think then we can come on to the developed countries and become a player there.
Right. Thank you so much, Team Noct. Sorry that we don't have more time.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. So if you can stop sharing your screen. Okay. So let's welcome the next team, Eco Heroes. So Eco Heroes, please go ahead and start sharing your screen. And I'm going to quickly introduce Eco Heroes. So Eco Heroes aims to encourage individuals to adopt green practice through gamification. So Eco Heroes, whenever you're ready, you can start.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Glenn from Eco Heroes. Do you know that an average Singaporean generates 8 tons of CO2 annually? That's twice the global average. Research has shown that most Singaporeans are concerned of climate change, but 1/3 believe that their action have very little impact, and that leads to inaction. Furthermore, current movements are very specific and specialized, so individuals have to put in more effort to learn more about the respective movement. While current solutions tackle factors such as cost and inconvenience, individuals find hard to visualize how one man's action could save the world. With the increasing success of gamification, there's more adoption of gamification to encourage green action. Hence, our solution will be to create a mobile game that gamifies green actions. We will adopt a similar successful model similar to Ant Forest game, where users do green tasks, earn green points, and plant real trees. In our game, our player will live in a dystopian future that's heavily polluted and devoid of nature. The player is determined to restore the environment. After entering a game world, the player has to complete green tasks in real life and earn in-game credits. With the credits, they can unlock animals and plants to reintroduce back to the ecosystem in order to restore nature. Progress that a player makes will be tied to company pledges in real life. In summary, we will partner green movement to gamify real-world action for players. We will also seek companies with green CSR or climate pledge, such as members of Global Compact Network Singapore, to tie players' achievement with real-life pledges like planting trees and buying carbon credit. Through our game, players get to better visualize the impact, have a one-stop access to multiple movements at their fingertip, amplify their efforts with real-world efforts from business, and most importantly, have fun discovering the roles of plants and animals in the ecosystem and climate change. For the partners, besides introducing fun to a green action, we help to cross-sell their movement and provide them a means to track their movement progress. For the pledges, we help fulfill their green CSR and accumulate carbon credits. For green businesses, we charge them for advertisement on in-game supply crates and product listing. In the future, we hope to also let players get real-world incentive from our partner sponsor. We also hope to tap into carbon credit marketplace and introduce more fun such as sim, gameplay, and augmented reality. Last but not least, I would like you to meet the team, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Eco Heroes. Over to judges to kickstart the questions. David, would you like to start?
Yep. Okay. Glenn, thanks for that. I just wonder who your main users of this platform or game platform will be, and what is the outcome you're trying to achieve here?
Yes. Our main users would be those will be mostly the target audience will be mostly millennials. Because we realized that actually the is this? Yeah, actually, the millennials are highly aware of climate changes, and they do occasionally adopt green practices. But we realize that because of cost, inconvenience, and also inability to visualize their impact, that's why it's not done in the long-term practice. Yeah, so actually, this lifestyle emission is a huge problem because the richest 50% is responsible for 90% of the emission. That's what we are trying to solve. So our green action will actually be, we will try to also align with the Singapore Green Plans to take up this, gamify these green actions, and in return, they can earn in-game credits. Yeah. Sorry, is there any part which I haven't answered yet?
No, let the other judges go ahead.
Yes.
David, Suzanne?
Yeah, thank you. I think it's a lovely idea. I was wondering though, so you're giving credits for things that you have to probably self-report, like recycling. So you really have to trust your users. I was wondering if you have any examples of gamified ideas like this that work the same, that show that this can in fact work for people and that they follow through on their promises and not just saying, yeah, that would be nice, but not actually doing it.
Yes. One good example would be bring your own, they call it, in Singapore, it's called tingkat, but it's your own packaging, your own container. So they could take away with it and take a photo with themselves and the tingkat, and they can publish it. So we could verify it through the, they could post it to us, then we will verify it. So in the short term, we will do it manually, but in the long term, actually it's possible to do it through machine learning. Because these tingkat, they are metallic, so there's some certain pattern to it. So it's not that hard to do machine learning with it.
If I may add on, right, so we actually mentioned the example of the Ant Forest game that's run by Ant Finance. So one of the main success factors for the Ant Finance game, right, was actually the community element, in the sense that people play with their friends and they want to compete and plant more trees in the game. And it's actually impactful because they actually can track the real world impact of their actions in terms of the trees that are planted. So in a sense, the competition element is the very important factor that will encourage users to actually adopt the game.
Sorry, if you don't mind add in, we also, the main intention is also not only us, we want to work with all these movements, because there's so many movements out there. So I hope there's some way to collaborate, either through maybe their own system API or this, to really maybe to provide data and exchange data, so we could really help them also. So it's a consolidated effort. It's not only us.
Thanks, Suzanne. And AP, you want to jump in?
Yeah. So what is the revenue model from this?
There's two ways to for this revenue model. The first way is through our partners. We have a free tier, which we allow them to publish their to work with them for their movement, and the paid tier will be more of the analytical, because they are using, we have some, the basic tracking of movement is free, but if they want advanced data analytics, we hope that we could subscribe to our paid tier to do it. And also because mobile games, mobile apps, they always have those notifications. So if they somehow want to like reach out to them through this notification, they have to do some payment for it. So the second tier, the second revenue model will be coming from the green businesses, because these games, they will have in-game supply crates. There's a lot of opportunity to publish their logo or their brand somewhere. So we hope that they have to pay a fee for it. That's for advertising portion. And also some tasks, that some green tasks is also like consuming less, consuming green products. So we will of course encourage them to encourage our players to purchase this green sustainable product, but we also can have some recommendation for this green product. But this recommendation, this list is require a fee for it. Yeah.
Thanks, Team Eco Heroes. We are running out of time for your team. So let's move on to the next team. If you can stop sharing your screen so we can invite the next team to the stage. So next team, Team Ayla, feel free to go ahead and start sharing your screen. So Team Ayla is, Ayla is the legal case and matter management system to help corporate law firms save time and increase productivity by simplifying the documentation process. So Team Ayla, over to you. Whenever you are ready, please go ahead.
Yep, thank you. Ayla, your law firm's next step. Meet Rumesh, a respected lawyer at a corporate law firm in India for 4 years. A typical day for him is sending emails, client meetings, drafting and formatting, and conducting due diligence. That's a lot of things to complete in a day. So he's using a couple of services to save time. He's currently using Gmail, Google Calendar, Microsoft Word, and Google Drive. He's using all these services, but guess what? He's still spending an average of 6 hours a week on document management. So he spends only 29% of the workday on billable time. So we spoke to a wide variety of corporate lawyers from Sri Lanka, India, and Singapore, and they all said the same thing, that this is a problem. So what's the solution? Ayla, a legal case and document management system to help corporate law firms save time and build productivity by simplifying the documentation process. We offer a wide variety of templates and automated process for reviewing and versioning, streamlining workflows via integrations such as Outlook, document relationship mapping, and AI-based data extraction. Ayla will provide a 60% average daily time save, leading to higher value-added work and an increase in job satisfaction. Our business model is a SaaS-based subscription platform consisting of 3 pricing packages: Standard, Premium, and Enterprise. We also have a free package. This all depends on the size of the law firm and the number of cases per month. According to our competitor analysis, there are a number of competitors in the market. So what makes us so unique? Ayla is not just about providing time-saving and immensely secure services for corporate law firms. We believe in justice for all. We will be providing premium services to lawyers working with struggling micro and small-scale businesses who cannot afford expensive corporate law firms. We plan to start our journey by creating partnerships with law firms and then building paid pilots before officially launching in India and Sri Lanka to achieve a target of 1,000 subscriptions. For roadmap of 5 years, we plan to end it by developing an ecosystem connecting corporates and law firms of all shapes and sizes globally. We are looking for funding, mentors, and partnerships with law firms, and our team consists of a wide variety of individuals, from cloud engineers to entrepreneurs. Thank you, and check out our demo.
Thank you, Team Ayla. Judges, time is yours. Anyone wants to kickstart?
I can go.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for that. Who specifically in the law firm are you targeting? Are you targeting the associate out of school? Or are you targeting the partner? Is there a specific type of law firm that would benefit most from this?
You mean the type of law firm or the type of lawyer?
Either.
Okay, so we're specifically targeting corporate law firms who work with companies with managing transactions. And within the law firm, we plan to have a product with both senior lawyers and associate lawyers. So especially the versioning feature, this is supposed to help a lot in terms of the communication between junior lawyers and senior lawyers inside the law firm, yeah, for internal reviewing. Yeah.
Thank you, Peter. Okay, Kaidi, over to you.
Yes, if I may ask, thank you for the presentation. It's a good idea, but could you please explain why did you pick blockchain as a technology, and how is this blockchain actually helping you? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. So the reason why we're using blockchain is because these documents that are sent between different law firms. So we're managing documents that are sent inside the law firm itself and also with external parties. So these kind of documents contain extremely sensitive information that we should not have, I believe that we should even not have access to. So the blockchain will contain a distributed ledger system that will contain the signature of each document. And also we're having ownership tracking for the internal and external reviews, so as to make sure that there will be no issue in exchanging the reviews between the documents. Yeah. Does that answer your question? Yeah.
Thank you. Over to Suzanne.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know a lot about this topic, so I find it hard to ask a question, but you said something that triggered me, which you said you believe in justice for all, or kind of having this kind of free, or to have this accessible for many.
Yeah.
So how does this product really help you make a bigger impact or build a purpose for your company?
Yeah. So we'll be getting revenue from the subscriptions of corporate law firms. Yeah. So we'll be using part of the revenue to provide free and certain low cost services to lawyers who are working with struggling micro businesses. So small scale businesses over here and in India, so I'm from Sri Lanka, struggle a lot in finding legal aid. So we want to provide the opportunity for them to have the equal services, no matter whether they're a small business or a large corporate. Yeah.
Right, so then you're funding these services for them through the law firms that are in fact paying.
Sorry?
Or is it, so you're really funding these services to them by the companies that are in fact paying. So you're donating your own services to these struggling micro businesses, or do you do anything specifically for them, specific issues they have? Because I can imagine they don't really have issues that are about documentation, but like real life issues with, I don't know, payment terms or legal struggles that they might have might not be related to documentation, right?
Okay. I understand what you're saying. Lawyers in general, so they take quite a lot of time to finish this whole documentation process, right? So what we're doing is we're providing this as a free service for the lawyers who are providing the services to these micro businesses. So we're hoping that by doing so, we can help those lawyers help these businesses build them. And eventually, we actually hope, in our roadmap. So we are hoping to build an ecosystem connecting corporates and law firms of all shapes and sizes, if you see in 2025. So that's, we're hoping we can eventually build a platform that where these struggling businesses and underserved communities don't have to spend so much on getting legal aid and proper legal aid. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Team Ayla. So that time is up. So we need to move on to our next team. Not last but not least, we have Team Ferty Clay. So Team Ferty Clay, feel free to start sharing your screen. So let me just give a quick intro. Ferty Clay seeks to cement the security of nature to protect our livelihoods through tackling the issue of waste in the built environment. So Team Ferty Clay, whenever you are ready, you can start.
Sorry. Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Jody, and today I'll be presenting Ferty Clay on behalf of my team. So we first recognized the issue of secondary waste, where ingredients like shells and nut husks are thrown from dinner tables without even blinking an eye, despite containing nutritional value. In construction, we see how cement is a carbon and water-intensive material, and how the industry accounts for 50% of our landfill waste each year. Our group then tried to combine valuable secondary waste materials and ingredients to form a clay material to replace urban clay applications. Ferty Clay is made of entirely 100% natural ingredients that will biodegrade at the end of its life, reducing environmental pollution. As its name suggests, fertically helps to increase fertility of the soil due to high nutritional content. It boasts low manufacturing costs since its ingredients are entirely waste materials, and it has biocontrol characteristics like permeability and decomposability. It also provides increased remediation effects for natural ecosystems and has a short but buildable lifespan. As urban green cities become a huge trend in Asia Pacific, we see how root overgrowth destroys cement pathways in parks and cities, while urban fixtures suppress nutrition in plants. Fertically can play a huge role in this market by providing nutritional value to green spaces while doubling up as urban furniture or pavements. In the genetically modified food and urban farming sector, soil acclimatization is currently both resource intensive and ineffective, affecting production cycles of food supply. So the bio-adjusted permeability of fertically actually makes it 4 times faster and more effective for manufacturers and increases plant growth with its high protein and calcium content. So there is a need for us to look into starting a cloud factory where we plan to do a joint venture with cement manufacturers in Indonesia. We plan to leverage their decommissioned heavy machinery like grinders and mixers to manufacture fertically, and also their transport network to transport the waste materials to our factory. With manufacturers more than glad to pay for waste to be taken away ethically, we can also expect a profit margin of about 40%. We also plan to employ people from low-income families and get materials within close proximity to where our factory will be located. As we ramp up production of fertically, the demand for it will be evident in these 3 markets: architectural firms and schools where it can be used as a modeling clay, the $300 billion market of nature preservation, and the ever-growing soil microbiology and the genetically modified food market. We plan to use 2 main channels, firstly B2B and B2G project partnerships, especially in the public sector, and NGOs in nature conservation efforts. And then we will also use direct-to-consumer channels such as established secondary providers in urban farm procurement like Pearsoft, as well as Cargill's network to have fertically supplied as a raw material for other products. We estimate high profit margins through these channels due to the reasonable platform fees yet wide outreach. So fertically prides itself not just in empowering marginal communities within Indonesia, but also achieves a circular economy and strengthens food security. Envisage with us a sustainable future as we facilitate co-living of humans and nature with fertically. Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. Right on time. Over to judges to ask questions. Okay, I see Suzanne, unmute.
Yeah, great product. So is it already a proven product, or is this something like, where does it come from? Where does the inspiration come from? Does it exist, or are you still developing?
Yeah, we're currently developing. So I've actually done a few test batches of my own. That's how I came up with this recipe. But one of my team members has actually been talking to his lecturers and professors about it because he studies environmental engineering. So it's something that we validated with them because they see that it's actually something that's viable and something that can be used, especially like I mentioned in the genetically modified food sector. But yeah, we still have to run through a few testings and do R&D to see whether it's really effective and how effective it can be.
So from the name, I was expecting this to be a product for farmers or for forestry organizations that are really building nature areas, but it looks like you're envisioning something else. Am I right? Because you're looking more towards builders and architects.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think we wanted to actually play to the clay advantage more than the fertilizing advantage. So we want to emphasize that this is a clay material that can be used for not just farming, which is relevant, and not just for gardening, but also on a bigger, wider scale. And then have people realize that, oh, I can still use this product for a productive purpose, but it also fertilizes and does good for the environment in the end. So by doing that, we hope to also drive a change in people's behaviors to see like a product for more than one thing.
Thank you, Susan. Next to Kaidi for the question.
Thank you. I absolutely love your thinking and the products and the experimentation. My question is, because especially when you think about the construction and building, you're in the need of the raw materials. And how do you plan to get access to the raw materials? Because like nutshells and the others, so that seems to be one of the potential bottlenecks in your business. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we actually are trying to look into countries that actually provide these materials more readily available. So that's why we were actually, because we have a team member that's actually based in Indonesia, we were trying to see whether he could also help us to form a network of companies that actually provide these materials as waste products. So we were thinking of looking into, for example, for eggshells, whether we can look into noodle making factories, and also for nutshells, whether we can look into places that are restaurants or cafes and bakeries that actually want to provide these materials to us for free. So ideally, we would like to settle down our factory in a place that actually has closer proximity to all these different restaurants and companies, yeah, to actually source the materials and then bring them to our factory. Yeah.
Thank you, Kaidi. David?
Jody, thanks for that. Very intriguing. Between the different domain use cases, which one has the most potential for this product? And in the built environment, what sort of structures are you thinking about? Because there will be elements of safety and certification as well. Go ahead.
Yep. So, yeah, thank you. I think we were actually looking into the first ideas that came about was actually to do with, for example, this is just one example that my team member came up with. He thought about how at farmlands, the workers on the farm, so the farmers, they would actually create these temporary dwelling places, dwelling shelters, like on different parts of the farms, depending on how big, so that they can stay there for a while. And then when they need to harvest, then they go on and do their work. And then once that season is over, they can actually destroy the house down. Or the same thing for like big construction sites where people have to make temporary dwelling spaces. So the idea is actually to use these in these kind of more temporary spaces, or like I mentioned, in parks where you want to use it as like pavements, where after a while, all these cement pavements actually break down over a couple of years because of root overgrowth, right? For our material, we can actually keep applying layers of it, and like it doesn't need to come at a very high cost. Also, it doesn't do detrimental effects to the environment. But I guess, yeah, so we're still trying to decide which industry we should enter into first also, because we do understand, like, because of its scalability and the adaptability of this product, we don't know how, we can't foresee yet like where we want to start first. So that's why we actually narrowed down to those 3 industries first. Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay. So one last short question from AP, I guess.
Yeah, quick one. Love the problem you're trying to solve, but then I'm just thinking scale here, man. Like expand the land, water, distribution point, collection points, and stuff like that. Do you have a spreadsheet that shows your cost to set up, the return on investment, as well as unit economics, and how much you're going to sell, etc.? Have you done that?
Currently, we haven't done that, but I think it's definitely something that we have to consider if you really want to push this forward. Yeah, because we have my friend, one of our team members, he actually has contacts with his lecturers and professors, and he also has contacts in NParks in Singapore. So yeah, we actually want to sit down and talk to them and also find out a bit more about how these things are structured and how much about the cross structure and everything like that. Yeah, so thank you for that.
I think just to add on, one of the most important things to note is that because we are using like resources from everywhere. Yes, you're right. In terms of like collecting stuff, it might be very laborious and things like that. But we want to make sure that a lot of what our materials are definitely below cost price, and at the same time, what we want to sell in the commercial market, especially when you're looking at clay materials, will be 40% below commercial pricing as well.
Right. Thank you so much, Team Ferti Clay. And that's all of all the pitches and presentations of tonight. Congratulations, everyone. Super, super awesome job. And let me bring my co-facilitator, Joyce, back to the stage.
Good job, Linka, and good job to all the judges. This has been a really, really long time. I think it's close to 2 hours for all the pitches. So without further ado, we are going to invite the judges to accept the pop-up that appears on your screen and head into the room for deliberation. And in the meantime, so once you see that come up, just accept it. And in the meantime, we're going to have a chat with some of our participants. Because I'm pretty sure you guys are curious about how, for those of you who are tuning in on Facebook, you're probably curious about how this entire event has gone about and what the participant experience was really like, right? So Linka, we're gonna invite 2 of our participants to come up.
Right, so the first one is Kenta Kawaguchi. He's from Japan. So Kenta, are you there? Do you want to say hi to all of us here and people watching live stream from Facebook, YouTube, and other channels?
So hi everyone, I'm Kenta. Originally born, raised, and after I completed NS, went over to Yamaguchi, Japan for further studies. And I'm still here 8 years later. So hi to you all. I hope you all had a wonderful time watching the final pitch. And let the interview begin.
All right, and our next participant who's joining us on this panel is Amber Tilling-Richards from Team Remo. Welcome, Amber.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, that was a very quick introduction.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit nervous.
All right. Okay, we're gonna go very, very quickly. But I guess my very first question to both of you is why do you guys decide to join Startup Weekend? Maybe Kenta, you can go first.
Sure. It was totally on a whim. So 3 hours before it started, I saw an invitation in my inbox and I clicked. Participants' tickets were still available, so why not?
It was just a very speedy decision. And I hope you didn't regret that decision.
No, it was so far the best startup weekend I've had so far. So it's great.
Oh, wonderful. And what about you, Amber?
So I'm currently in high school and I saw it posted on our learning platform. And I originally thought it was just going to be a small startup weekend for high schoolers in Singapore. Little did I know it was going to be one of the biggest global startup weekends. So I was a little bit out of my depth, but I'm so glad that I joined because it's been an amazing learning experience.
Right. And I know, Linka, you have a question for Kenta, right?
So yeah, it's actually a burning question, Kenta. But actually, I have two after seeing your mic setting. I'm so curious. Like what makes you purchase this super professional mic that is in front of you? And the second question is, I know that your team name is Hot Pot, right? So why is your team name Hot Pot?
Okay, so regarding first question, I actually bought this about 5 years ago. I did used to game a lot, and our team sort of the idea was make sure if you want to do voice chat, have a good microphone. We want to hear you clearly. And that's how it is, and it still pays to this day. It's really cheap as well. So, and for the second point regarding the original team name, which was a Hot Pot, it was actually brought up by Rena, our fantastic designer, and we were trying to think of something which is catchy, and I agree, and it's melting pot of cultures, Hot Pot.
And I was gonna guess that it was because you guys were forming your team late at night and you guys were hungry for hot pot.
Well, I did think about that, but yeah.
All right, yes. And we know, Amber, you have a really diverse team. Your teammates are like from all around the world. And how do you guys actually manage with all these different time zones? How do you guys actually just come together and start building and start hacking your idea?
Yeah, so we have people from Nepal, Philippines, Singapore. I'm originally from South Africa as well. So it was very complicated at first, and there was a lot of staying up till 2 a.m. type working situations, but we just managed to pull through because we were lucky enough to have a very dedicated team.
Awesome.
I have a question for both of you. Can you share your first time through this whole experience, like the first time of doing something or trying something or even speaking to a person from a country that you never come across before? So share with us your very important first time. Can see
Kenta looks very pensive. He's like
well, okay, because I used to go to the same school as Amber did, and we have a really multinational student population, and I'm sure you've heard United World College. So yeah, that's why probably have spoken someone somewhere. So yeah, but yeah, it was still really exciting and interesting to talk to everyone. So it's fun.
Yeah, for me, I don't think my biggest first time was speaking to the people. I think it was well, the competition itself, trying to navigate the world of planning a business model and, developing good designs and communication. That was just intense learning experiences.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that I noticed about Kenta is that he was on Gather like 24/7. It's like you don't even sleep. I hear our community leaders and organizers saying there's this Kenta dude that he's like there at 3 a.m. in the morning, he's there at 4 a.m., he's there at 8 a.m., he's like there all day, all night. So we're asking, how many hours did you actually sleep in the last 9 days?
Oh, actually, okay, for the first few days, yes, I was there. Because I just sleep in the afternoon, and then I wake up. I notice there's a kefir from Brazil, and it's basically a 12-hour time difference for us. So it's just nice if I enter at like midnight, and it'd be lunch for him. So it's just wonderful talking. But actually, for the past few days, Gather has been quite peaceful. So I was able to have a nice, normal sleeping schedule. Yeah.
All right. Because I thought you guys were like hacking till really late at night. But Amber, for you, is this your first time going on Gather?
Yes, yeah, it was. It was definitely a new experience.
And how do you find the whole experience?
Having such an interactive platform like Gather was a little bit addictive, especially when it came to the treasure hunt. We spent way too much time on that, but it was very fun.
Did you guys complete the treasure hunt?
We did.
Because I couldn't. I'm stuck at clue 2. My own organizers wouldn't even tell me how to get to the final. Yeah, I'm stuck at clue 2, unfortunately. And I see someone says they got lost in Gather in the first couple of days. But yes, so
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Linka, you have a question.
Right. So yeah, I'm very curious about Kenta and Amber. If you remember yourself 9 days ago, what is something that most unexpected for the past 9 days? So like if you bring yourself back to 9 days ago before signing up and joining, what was your expectations and things that were just like super unexpected? So yeah, what was that memory?
I think.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
No. Please go ahead first.
Okay. So actually, before team registration finalized, I was actually in Knocked. And I was actually headhunting for other team members. And so when the team registration thing started, I was in touch with Mark. But Knocked seemed to have really popular. And on the other hand, I could be the 4th member of Sherpa. So that's where I joined.
Ooh, and that comes as like the best unexpected surprise for you. Right. Okay. How about Amber?
I think for me, it was also team formations because, as I said, I wasn't expecting this to not be high school students. Everyone has so much years of experience. So I realized I'm going to have a very hard time finding a team. So the only way to go about this is pitching my own idea. And then people liked it. And it was incredible because, yeah, I finally had that confidence boost in our idea and we're planning to go ahead with the development, which is just incredible. So I think my biggest, it's just the confidence and being able to make it into a reality is, yeah.
It's true. It's like team formation and being able to pitch your idea right at the very beginning. We call it your first form of validation, because if you find that other people resonate with your idea and they like what you're thinking about and what you're trying to solve, people will naturally come to you. But in the past, we've also seen participants who go up on stage and pitch themselves, like, I'm a developer. Just come and find me if you need a developer. That works too. But I'm so glad, Amber, that you managed to pitch your idea and you got that feedback from people and you guys were able to use this opportunity to build that idea over the past couple of days. And so you just did your pitch, Amber. And I mean, you pitched your idea at team formation. You just did your final pitch. Any advice or any tips that you would share to future pitchers from whatever you've learned over the past couple of days?
I think being open to changing your idea and just throwing out any ideas possible, because one of them is bound to click. You know, if you wait to form the perfect idea before you put it out, you're going to have a lot of struggle developing it or getting it started in the first place. So just having a bit of self-confidence.
Was there a lot of pivoting of ideas that you guys went through?
I think, well, about half of the original idea got cut out, but I think it was for the best. So I'm just so grateful to have people who realized what was best for the idea or not and could guide me in that way. So yeah, there was quite a bit of pivoting.
You did make it to the final, so I guess that's a good thing. All right. And Kenta, what about you? What, just over the last couple of days, I mean, you came and joined this event on a whim. You got through, you made it to final pitches, you switched teams and you still made it to final pitches. Any advice or tips that you would give to future participants?
Okay, so it comes back to team formation. I think there's only a few ways to actually make a team, as Amber has already explained. That's one way. There's also luck. I have made a team that way before. And the other way is that if you want to join a team, follow the leader. If he's really passionate about what he's talking about, and you fall in love, like literally fall in love, that's a good team for you. And if everyone else is following, then there's a really strong core for everyone to follow. So that's my advice to the rest of the guys and girls listening.
Wonderful. And Linka, you have a question?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm very curious for Kenta and Amber. What's your biggest takeaway from this whole experience?
Okay, let me start with I'm actually really happy with my performance. Last year I joined the first online startup weekend Singapore COVID. And when I joined that one, I was terrified. Everyone is so talented. Okay, my LinkedIn is still not updated, but okay, regardless. I was so terrified. I was so scared. I didn't know how to sell myself. I wasn't confident. So after that, because it's COVID and wonderful, I can join all these online startup weekends in Japan. So I joined 15, and then online, or mostly online, okay. And then I was able to really test out who I can work with. And that's the culmination of all that, and that happened today, I think.
I think my biggest takeaway is just the realization that if you reach out, so many people are willing to collaborate and push your ideas forward and assist you. And this is even through LinkedIn or partner organizations. Like, if you want to take an idea further, it's a lot less abstract than you think, and it's very possible.
Yeah, I mean, as a participant as well, that's how I started my startup weekend journey. Everything both of you shared are very, very relatable. While we are validating our ideas, we're building it. We're also validating and also understanding our capacity of what we can do. And then, and I actually shared very, very similar memory with Amber. I was also pitching my idea the first time. And I think everyone, it was like 5 years ago. So I think I was one of the youngest in the room. And I didn't anticipate that my idea was the most popular one, and then imagine that I hold a big piece of paper with my idea, and everyone wants to put their post-it note on my paper, so it's just full of everything.
Such a great experience. And such a great feeling as well.
Yeah, and it actually it's so relatable that it's a whole journey of our confidence building, like knowing that we can do more than we previously thought, and we're actually more capable than what we thought. So yeah, it really,
That's right.
yeah, relatable.
All right, I hear that the judges are almost done. So we're going to ask you guys the last question, using just one word to sum up your entire 9 days experience. Whoever's ready to go first. This is a tough one. Just one word.
Transformative.
Oh, that's great. Transformative. Kenta?
Passion.
Passion. Oh, these are great words. Thank you so much, Amber and Kenta. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. Glad to know that you guys enjoyed the entire experience. You guys were able to complete the treasure hunt. I will work harder after this ends to go and try and find the treasure. But thank you so much for sharing the experience. I know a lot of participants, you guys are saying that you guys want to be a part of the chat. Don't worry, go on gather after this whole thing ends and continue the conversation with us. Thank you so much. All right, thanks Kenta, thanks Amber.
Thank you.
Okay, we are waiting for the judges to come back to the room. But before that, all right, let me just share my screen. So we are done with all the final pitches. It's been a crazy, crazy, crazy 9 days. And we are so thankful for all the amazing love that you guys have shown us. And we've been so excited to work with you guys through this entire journey. So congratulations to all our participants, whether or not you made it to the final pitches. I think what really matters is the fact that you guys were able to take this entire experience, learn and connect with one another from, across the entire world, and really take this opportunity to test out all your ideas as well. I think we've heard some really amazing ideas today, and I wanted to ask Linka what your favorite idea is, but then I think we can't influence them, right?
Yeah, I think the judges are not here, so I guess whatever we say here are not going to have any influence on the story. So
But yes.
yeah,
If you guys are on the Facebook, put down in the comments below which team is your favorite, and which team you think deserve to win. But one thing that I noticed, Linka, and I don't know if it's the same for when you are hosting in other parts of the world as well, is that this time round we had a lot of female pitches. That's just amazing.
That's so amazing. So, I actually hosted a Startup Weekend Woman Edition before. And one of the rationale to host it with women on, loud and clear is just to make sure that we can have more female participations.
That's
and
right.
in the end, we still have, 70%, around 70% women and 30% men. So in a way that, that's also one thing I think throughout the Startup Weekend journey that we always want to improve. So yeah, really, really happy to see that we have so many female presenters today. Really, congratulations to all of you. Really happy.
Yeah, that's right. And just looking at the top 12 teams, we see participants that are coming from Singapore, from Australia, from UK, from UAE, India, Sri Lanka, China, Italy, Kenya, Philippines, Canada. This is crazy. Indonesia as well. This is madness. And I'm so glad that this platform can actually provide that opportunity for you guys to really build very diverse teams. And I think it also provides an opportunity for you guys to understand some of the challenges or problems that people are facing on the other side of the world. And I hope this has also helped you guys expand that worldview and think about, when you're building a startup, really think global. Don't just think of your own local market. Right. Linka, what was some of the very good learning experiences that you had when you yourself were a participant?
Yeah, so I think when I was participant, one thing that I really felt like I still how to say benefit from that lesson is first is don't attach to the process, attached to the purpose, right? So most of the time we attach to our idea, but that's just a purpose to achieve our goal, right? So how do we want to change our environment, our society, people around us? Our ideas is a way to make that happen. So attach to your purpose of what changes that we want to see, but don't attach to the process. So that's why, you know, we need to pivot our solutions. And I think second thing I always remember is always validate. It's so important. Just validate, because we can't live in our own world and assume and imagine. We have to, you know, get this real world feedback. So yeah, it was, you know, even 4 or 5 years from now, I'm still feel like those are very, very two important lessons I've learned from my first startup weekend.
That's right. And you know, this entire startup weekend, really that platform that's been provided to us and our participants to really bring everyone together, to be able to get all of these judges to come and spend their time with all of us and to help give feedback on all of the pitches that they've seen tonight. We really couldn't have done it without amazing guys. So a shout out to all the people that have made this entire event possible. Thank you so much. First of all, the organizing team. Can you believe it, Linka? But I've not even met some of these guys in person before. It's crazy because the entire team has been meeting for, I think, so many months, right? And we've just been doing all of our meetings together, and so many of them I've not actually met in person. Wow. But thank you so much to all the organizers from all the different parts of the world, and also not forgetting all our different community leaders, because this is really a global effort. And all these different community leaders that run their own startup weekend communities in their own cities, they bring a wealth of experience, and they brought that to you guys, to all the participants over the last 9 days. They shared with you their insights, they shared with you their domain expertise, their knowledge about their own local markets. And that has helped our participants go so far. One thing that I have heard from the team is that actually 2/3 of the teams that made it to final pitches were at mock pitches. So if you guys were at mock pitches, you all will remember I called it mock pitch is a very good platform for making sure that you really refine your pitch, getting all the very good feedback from your mock judges, and then making it to final pitches. So really well done, all of you guys. And also not forgetting the mentors who spent time last Saturday with us to share. You guys were mobbing the mentors on Gather. After that, I could see it. But you guys were really cherishing the time that all of these mentors were, you know, doing that AMA sessions with you guys and just sharing all the information and knowledge that they had. Also, thank you so much to the judges who have, you know, spent all this evening with us, nighttime, morning, or afternoon, whatever your time zone is. A great big thank you to you guys. And also our presenting sponsors. Thank you so much to National Youth Council, Aspire, Singapore International Foundation, Wework, Olam, and Gather for making all of these possible. You guys have been so supportive. Do go around to all of their lounges on Gather and have fun with all the things that they have set up for you guys. I know you guys, I've seen you guys lounging at all the different, you know, nicely built lounges over the past couple of days. Do interact with all the little things at their booths and have fun. All right. And also a big thank you to all of our global sponsors. Do remember, participants, to go onto your Miro board and do your redemptions. Most of the perks and credits and benefits that have been made available by all our sponsors should be available for, you know, probably till end of the month, or it's good to check what that redemption period is, but make sure you don't miss out on all of the good perks that our sponsors have given us. And also a shout out to all the prize and perk sponsors. You guys have been amazing, and thank you so much for contributing all that you guys have contributed to the prizes later on, which we will announce very shortly. Also not forgetting all our community partners for helping us spread the word. You guys are the reason why we have been able to go global and help bring in so many participants from all these 80+ countries. So did you guys find the treasure? So Amber was saying that she and the team actually went around to find the treasure earlier. Linka, did you do the treasure hunt?
Not really, no. I was
Not
just
really.
Yeah.
I know, right? I tried and then I gave up at Clue 2. Some of you guys are very cheeky. You went to ask the organizers. You went to ask the organizers straight up where you should go to get a final clue. But congratulations to the guys who did make it. We are going to select a winner very shortly, but wanted to share with you guys what the secret room actually looks like if you didn't manage to find it. I know on the first night, we did put up a couple of secret rooms, and those secret rooms were breached very quickly in less than 3 hours. You guys were crazy amazing. We didn't think that anyone would actually find those secret rooms, which we had, sort of like built in. But you guys did it, so found all the secret rooms so quickly. The team did build the entire treasure hunt. On the second day, we launched it. But still, you guys were really crazy good at finding all of these things. So for those of you who have not completed the treasure hunt, you're still welcome. The space, the gather space will still be available. And you're welcome. If you don't know where to start, I know some people ask, where do I go to find the treasure hunt, or how do I even start? Start at the fountain. Okay, that's your first clue. Actually, that's clue 0. Okay, so gonna give a very special gift. This is the Dragon Soul NFT, and we are going to select one lucky winner from all the participants that have actually completed the treasure hunt up to this evening. Your name is added to the list. A lot of you really did very hardcore, actually went to complete the entire treasure hunt. Last night, I could see people running around. This afternoon, I could still see people running around. So good luck to you guys. We're going to bring up the random generator. All right, and here we go. All right, congratulations, Kriti. Kriti, if you are in the room right now, or if you're watching on Facebook Live or on GatherTown, congratulations to you. One of our organizers will reach out to you afterwards to let you know how you can claim your prize. All right, and I know we have been talking a lot, and I know what you guys are actually looking out for. You guys want to hear who is the winners, right? But I think I have my judges back in the room already, and I am going to, okay, let me bring up the screen again. Okay, and welcome back to the awards section of the final pitches. I am going to bring up my judges. Welcome back, judges. I can assume that it was a very intense discussion in the deliberation room. But I'm gonna invite all of you guys to say a few words. You've heard 2 hours of pitches tonight from all these 12 teams. I'm sure you have a lot of thoughts. And we're gonna go down the row. And perhaps Suzanne, if you would like to start off first.
Yes, of course. Well, of course, thank you all for presenting such clear cases. I was very impressed with the level of the pitches you all shared. All of them were very clear problem statements, and very well presented. I was happy to judge you all, and I think the level of purpose-driven energy that you are all showing, and the ambition you're all showing, I really appreciate that. And I think I was asked to also share maybe a little tip, or what I would suggest for you to move forward on, is I think make sure that your problem statement and the proposition that you're offering are actually very well connected for your target audience. So what is the pain or the gain that you're trying to create, the pain that you're trying to solve, or the gain that you're trying to create? And how do you make sure that your product for this target audience is actually really doing that? Make that as specific as possible.
All right.
But overall, some really inspiring cases.
Awesome. I'm going to let Kaidi go next.
Thank you very much, and congratulations all the teams. First, congratulations for picking the problem, because and all the problems what you all are about to solve, these are the true problems. Please don't give up after the first month, first quarter, first year, because if I would have given up after all the pitching competitions and after the first meeting with the investors, then the Funderbeam would not have been where we are right now. Be true to your mission, be true to your idea, pick the feedback that needed to get your business done and just go forward. And as an advice, do think about the first very narrow focus of the target group, of the product, of the audience. Go and kick it and do it. So the winners are the ones who actually execute. And I'm sorry, because of the other engagement I have, I can't stay for the awarding ceremony, but I wish you all good luck. And as I said, do not give up, go and chase your dream. Thank you.
Awesome. And Kaidi, just stay on for a minute. We're going to take a screenshot while we are still here. And yes, Darwin, if you'd like to come up, someone on the back end, if you could just help us take a screenshot on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. And thank you so much.
We'll take one more just in case. Yeah, we'll take one more just in case.
Okay, one more. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Kaidi. Your work is done. You've selected the winners. But thank you so much. And thanks for taking the time. And moving on to our next judge, AP, if you would like to go next.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Joyce. Guys, really well done. All of you guys are rock stars, right? If I have $1 million, like every one of you will get like 1.2 million. Everyone will get 100,000.
We are holding you to it, all right?
Yeah, and at the top 3 maybe get 101,000, right? You know, so I think really good job, everyone. If I have anyone generic advice is that I think as you build a business, you probably want to do many things, right? You just really have to. It's okay to start small, and I think very similar to the couple of feedback from Suzanne and Kaidi is this, right? Small is just good, right? You focus on our target audience. A niche is fine, right? A subcategory. Then after that, you build up. So, for example, when we launch our fitness app, we want to hyper-local locations. And when we introduced FavePay, we could have gone through different types of sectors, right? We focused on F&B first, and then later on with that, we just started building up, more use cases around retail, etc. Okay, so small is good, right? Because you have limited resources. Build that up. Then after that, you create this flywheel. Small is good, and then please focus on unit economics, your ROI, your costs, how much you're going to invest, what's the ROI. That is super important. Okay. That's it. Good job, guys. And go really build your app, your dream, your platform. Thank you. It's been an honor judging you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Coming from someone who has all the experience, very insightful. And Peter, over to you.
Sure. Thanks so much. Look, I share the excitement, and I was so impressed with the level of a sense of purpose, wanting to do something to change the world, and the ambition. And I just couldn't be more thrilled and energized to hear that in the room. I had the great honor of listening to Usain Bolt. He came and spoke to our company actually just yesterday, and
wow.
He had some really sage advice, and he basically said, hey, look, like you have to learn how to lose before you can learn how to win. And I think it's a common theme from a lot of people here. Like, don't see any kind of defeat as anything other than your pathway to success. You're trying to do something big, you're trying to do something incredible. And in that context, of course, you're going to have a lot of failures. And those failures are just learning opportunities to continue to grow and take that as you go forward. So, I'll just continue the theme and say, please do take every bit of information you get, some with a grain of salt, and take it forward, and off you go, and continue to pursue those dreams. Because I think the purpose and the meaning that y'all have kind of shared with us today is really inspiring. Thanks again.
Wonderful. I wish I could meet Usain Bolt, but but all right, moving on to David.
Well, today I've been inspired by all of you, and I think I've learned a lot, not just from you, also from my fellow judges. So on top of learning to lose, like Peter says, I would encourage us or you all to remain pig-headed. So pig, other than just being stubborn and having that grit to persevere, P, just get good people into your team, onto your ideas, and also good mentors. I, be inclusive in all that you do. Don't leave anyone behind. G, So given our current context, important to maintain that global outlook, the networks and the friendships you have formed here on this platform, and thinking of the other markets as well. So stay pig-headed. Thank you.
Yes, think global. Thank you so much, judges. I'm going to ask for you guys to stay on while we announce the winners so that we can get the teams to take some photos with you guys as well. But let me quickly bring up my screen. I know time is very, very tight. We are overrunning. But over to the most important thing of the day, announcing the winning teams. All right, and first up, we have the Impact Prize. All right. Congratulations, Towerspace. Congratulations. Congratulations, Towerspace. If you guys could come up, we will take a quick shot with you guys and the judges. All right. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, and you guys will, and you and your team will also walk away with the Raptor Fraternity NFTs, as well as a basket of amazing prizes and goodies from our sponsors, Aspire, Airtable. Alibaba Cloud is sending you a very interesting package with scented candles and vintage coin set. Looks very, very cute. I've seen it. As well as our friends from Canva. There's also a whole list of other stuff not listed here, but congratulations and really well done, Towerspace.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Awesome. And now moving on to the third prize. Congratulations, Remo.
Congratulations.
All right. If we could have Amber and her team come up. Okay, and okay, still have. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, Badan, I think we miss you there. If you'd like to come up again. All right, one more time. 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. Congratulations to the team, Remo. You guys are getting the Whale Souls NFTs, as well as a basket of other goodies from all the rest of our sponsors. Congratulations and really well done, Amber. You made it. Okay, and moving on to our second prize. Congratulations, Team Teach 80.
Congrats, Teach 80.
Okay, come on up, ladies. Is our team Teach 80 here? Oh no, has it been too? The two girls are very, very young. Hi. So it must be past their bedtime, but hello, Anjali and Sophia. Okay, we're gonna take a quick shot in 3, 2, and 1. All right, thank you so much and congratulations, girls. We've seen you guys grow up over the years. For the judges' information, they were just 9 and 11 years old when we first saw them participate. So they've grown up over the years. Amazing job, you guys. Well done. You guys are getting the Crypto Astronauts NFTs, as well as a basket of other prizes from all our sponsors. Congratulations for all the winners. We will also, organizers will also be reaching out to you to let you know how you can redeem your prizes. And now moving on to our grand champions. Ferty Clay, well done.
Hey, congrats, Ferty Clay.
All right, Team Ferty Clay,
thank you.
Once you're up. All right, we are going to take that screenshot in 3, 2, and 1. All right, thank you so much and congratulations, Team Ferty Clay, on making it that far. You guys are amazing. Some of you are familiar faces. Kok Chong, I've seen you so many years. Well done, well done. You guys have really accompanied us throughout your university years, and I am so thrilled that you guys have made it to Grand Champions. That was a wonderful idea. And you guys are getting the Soul Cities NFTs, as well as a basket of other goods from all our sponsors. Really well done, guys, and thank you so much for being a part of Startup Weekend. All right. And for the winners, I'm going to ask you guys to stay on in Zoom so that we can actually get your winner interviews done right after this. But thank you so much to all our participants and all our judges for taking the time out today. You guys have been amazing, and we really couldn't ask for a better audience. So thank you so much. You guys are welcome to take your leave now. We're just going to quickly wrap up the rest of the event. And for those of you who would still like to connect with the rest of your participants on Gather, you're welcome to do so.